Welcome in. We are live in Norman, Oklahoma from Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium as the visiting number 15 Michigan Wolverines take on the number 18 Oklahoma Sooners for only the second time in program history. The last time these two teams played was the 1976 Orange Bowl National Championship, and the Sooners took that from the Wolverines 14-6. Tonight's ranked matchup features two college football blue bloods. I'm Jaden Fode alongside James Meninga. We're here with the first half for you guys. Second half, Ethan Sommers and Cyprian will take over. It's a matchup between the SEC and the Big Ten in the college football game of the week. There's a lot of exciting storylines around this game, but first, I want to talk about the quarterbacks. A true freshman, five-star quarterback, ranked number 1 in his class, Bryce Underwood for the Wolverines, and John Mateer, a transfer from Washington State, ranked the number 1 transfer by ESPN for the Sooners. James, what are you looking for from these quarterbacks today?
Yeah, well, Jaden, you said it. I mean, you've got the number one recruit in the 2025 class, and the number 1 transfer from the previous cycle going head to head. We saw both of them debut for these teams last week. Bryce Underwood against New Mexico. He looked good, had a lot of poise. I think the big takeaway is he did not really look like a true freshman making his first start. I think that's been the sentiment from his coaches, from his teammates, from the press, from the fans. Bryce Underwood looked much older than his years. Only threw 1 touchdown to Marlon Klein, his first of both of their careers. And on the other side, you have John Mateer, a junior who played at Washington State, who debuted with 3 touchdowns in the air and 1 on the ground last week. Both quarterbacks are beloved by their teams, and it's going to be a great matchup. I think you're going to see kind of a slow start from both of them. I think both teams are going to try and develop an offense on the ground, and then kind of lean on that air attack closer to the end of the first half and into the second. But yeah, this will be a highly touted quarterback matchup. And College Game Day is here. It's all eyes are on this game this evening, and we should have a good one.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned running things on the ground. Trying to establish the run game for both of these teams, I think, is going to be huge. When you look at Oklahoma, they have Jaden Fode, the running back. He's a transfer from the University of California. He was a little banged up in preseason in camp. We didn't really see him play very much in their first game against Illinois State. He played a little bit on special teams, but he wasn't really in the mix too much at running back. But today, he should be playing a lot more snaps, should be getting him involved a lot more. He was ranked SEC all SEC second team for the preseason. So it's a huge transfer to watch out for. Him and the duo of John Mateer, I think, will be great. And then on the Michigan side, you have Justice Haynes, probably one of, if not the best running back in the country. Transfer from Alabama, had 3 touchdowns against New Mexico in Michigan's first game. I mean, he's going to be huge for the Wolverines. So I think both of these teams, if they can establish their run game, that will be huge.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And something to note, Justin Haynes, like you said, from Alabama, we're seeing these teams get built out through the transfer portal in recent years. Something that has been more and more common with the ever-changing landscape of college football and NIL. So yeah, Justice Haynes coming over from the SEC. We're bringing that SEC speed to Michigan, who loves their good running backs. Blake Corum 2 years ago, the star. Donovan Edwards and Khalil Mullings last year, a little 1-2 punch. They're trying to recreate the same thing this year with Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. Advertised as a 1A, 1B. Justice Haynes got a lot of showed off a lot last week. Jordan Marshall was a little more quiet. So I'm curious to see this week whether or not that backfield is a little bit more split, like running back coach Tony Alford has suggested it will be. If Michigan can develop a 1-2 punch behind that new and improved offensive line, it could be trouble for Oklahoma to keep up.
And both running backs for the Wolverines, both Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall, named to the Doak Walker Award watch list for the best running back in the nation. So Michigan has a good running back room this season. Love to see them both get going today. I mean, looks like we have just about a minute and a half before kickoff. We have the coin toss in the middle of the field right now.
And Oklahoma is showing off its pageantry with the The 10-minute marching band performance is finally leaving the field. Fireworks are going off. The stadium is full of smokes. Smells like the 4th of July here in Norman. The coin toss is underway, and we are just 1 minute away from kick as captains shake hands in the middle of the field. Something to note about the Michigan captains, a couple of them are injured. Derek Moore and Marlon Klein. Derek Moore and Marlon Klein both listed as questionable before the start of the game today. Marlon Klein seen walking around in a boot. So it'll be really interesting to see what his snap count looks like and if he'll be as effective as he was last week.
Yeah, and for the Wolverines, Hogan Hansen, someone who did not play last week, he was scratched, but that's a tight end for the Wolverines that we could see get more snaps today. He entered the game as probable, so we'll have a look soon to see what his play time looks like.
Yeah, Hogan Hansen's one of those guys where he's been injured. He was injured most of fall camp after it got a little banged up in the spring, but he showed a lot of potential his freshman year. And that's a guy that the Wolverines might have to rely on today.
Countdown reaches 0. As the Oklahoma Sooners and the Michigan Wolverines take the field.
Michigan looks to be the team kicking off. So the Oklahoma offense, QB John Mateer will be up first following the kick.
And we're just about underway in Norman, Oklahoma for the Michigan Wolverines versus the Oklahoma Sooners for just the second time in program history. Beckham Sunderland to take the kick for Michigan. We're off. Fireworks up again. The ball reaches the end zone. And John Mateer will take the field first for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, really curious to see how John Mateer and co go about developing this first drive. Will they try and establish something on the ground like we expect Michigan to do, or will they go straight to their air raid that they showed off last week? Oklahoma offense huddles. Huddle breaks.
And John Mateer lines up. No running back. 4 wide receivers for Oklahoma Sooners. Motion. Fakes the pass. Keeps it himself. And John Mateer runs for 1 yard, 2nd and 9. Ball on the 26 for Oklahoma.
Brought down quickly there by Derek Moore. It was the guy we talked about potentially injured, but out there makes the tackle.
Jaden Ott in for Oklahoma. Lines up outside on the hash marks. John Mateer takes a snap, looks. Incomplete pass. 3rd and 9. Ball still on the 26. Something big for Oklahoma is getting a lot of yards on that first down. Their completion percentage on 3rd down wasn't great against Illinois State.
No, it was not. They also struggled to run the ball, averaging less than 3 yards a carry. Let's see what their choice is here on 3rd and 9. You would assume a pass.
Mateer in shotgun. Mateer takes a snap, steps back. Mateer looking, tries to find Kanik downfield, and it's caught! Jaron Kanik for a huge gain for Oklahoma. And they'll move the chains. Ball on the 43.
And he was just absolutely wide open in the middle of the field. Looks like Jaden Mangum, the DB, was down there, got beat.
Mateer looks outside. Tries to find Isaiah Satania. He's taken down for about a loss of 2.
Yeah, not the start you want to see from Wing Martindale's defensive unit out there. Just broken coverage in the middle of the field for a huge gain for the Oklahoma offense. Michigan DBs are kind of the biggest question mark on that in that defensive unit. They're getting exposed pretty quick here.
Kanik motions for Ott to go wide. Kanik looks, finds pass in the middle. Isaiah Satania able to break through Michigan's defense. Finds a hole, and it's 3rd and 9, a gain of 5 on the play. Matier in the shotgun. Motions for Ott to go wide. And a flag called before Matier gets the catch off.
Looks like that one was a free play. We'll wait to hear from the officials, but the chains are moving.
Matier got the snap, stepped back. Flags were thrown before he got the pass off. He was able to find Dion Burks, the wide receiver, far on the right side. And they're going to move the ball up. It was offsides on the Wolverines, so 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line.
That was Zeke Berry and TJ Metcalf in coverage. TJ Metcalf playing high safety, and Zeke Berry getting beat as the corner.
Dion Burks, the former Purdue transfer, was the one on the catch. Matier takes snap. Matier runs himself, finds room, fakes out Michigan's defense, and Matier takes it himself. Just about enough for a first down. Matier picks up 8 on the play. Ball on the 13-yard line, and Oklahoma's in the red zone for the first time tonight. Matier snaps, quick handoff to Ott. Ott doesn't get many yards, brought down quickly by the Wolverines.
Wolverines would love a stop here on 3rd and short. Defense is looking a little shaky so far, so holding Oklahoma to 3 here would be big, as so they can get off the field and get Bryce Underwood out there.
It was Trey Williams on the tackle for the Wolverines, the transfer from Clemson, who played 5 seasons there before coming over to Michigan. Three wide receivers in. Kanik, the tight end. Ott lined up wide on the right numbers. Matier takes it himself, runs it himself.
And it looks like he's going to be short, based on the spotting of the far sideline official.
Only had 3 yards to gain on the play. Oklahoma fans booing. And he's short by 1 yard. But Matier shows no signs of leaving the field. The Oklahoma offense is staying on. Matier.
So this is that tone setting we talked about. Here they are, chance to get points, 4th and 1. They're going for it. Want to let Michigan know they're here to win.
Matier in shotgun. Matier takes it himself, and he easily picks up the first down. Matier finds a pocket in Michigan's defensive line. And it's 1st and goal for Oklahoma on the 9-yard line.
Yeah, Michigan's defensive line will be touched on more in the second half, but right now you can tell a little shaken up without the interior defensive lineman Jayshawn Barham, who was ejected for a targeting call early in the 3rd quarter of the New Mexico game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to note for Michigan's defensive line right now. Javante Barnes, the running back, lined up on the far side numbers. Matier takes a snap. Matier has time. Matier escapes coverage. Matier tries to find Barnes in the end zone. That ball's overthrown high. And it's 2nd and 9 for Oklahoma. But a lot of room, a lot of time. They're giving him a lot of time to take his space and find open routes.
Yeah, absolutely. The defensive line has struggled to get pressure, been stopped the run a little bit, but Matier feels like he has a lot of time in the pocket, and he's been taking advantage. Let's see what Coach Martindale dials up here on 2nd and 9, 2nd and goal from the 9.
Javante Barnes, the running back again. Motion across. Matier, hands off. Running in. Touchdown, Oklahoma!
That was Dion Burks going in motion, getting the ball snapped to him, runs across the field. Michigan's defense just loses him. A little bit of a tricky play, and Oklahoma has taken a 6-0 lead in Norman, setting the tone for these Wolverines.
Deion Burks, the wide receiver, with a 9-yard touchdown run for Oklahoma. He's brought down just at the goal line, but that's enough for 6 points. Extra point for Oklahoma, right down the middle. And Oklahoma has taken a 7-0 lead 5 minutes into the first quarter. And John Mateer showing exactly why he's the #1 transfer in this class in just his second game with the Oklahoma Sooners.
And not really a difficult drive there for Oklahoma. John Mateer, 5 for 7, 62 yards. And I think that play was considered technically a pass. John Mateer gets a touchdown in the books for that little shovel pass to Burks. And this is not the way Michigan wanted to start the game, and I don't think the way that many anticipated for it to start. I think most people were expecting a pretty slow start with the run game getting established, but John Mateer and company were not shy in their desire to throw the football, and they were able to, despite some hiccups, going forward on 4th and 1 deep in Michigan's territory, they were able to pull off a pretty flawless touchdown drive. Now we'll see Bryce Underwood see his first snap in a hostile road environment.
Yeah, and going for it on 4th down worked out for the Sooners. Deion Burks gets his second touchdown of the season. He scored one previously versus Illinois State in week 1. But John Mateer, just as impressive as we expected him to be. He's a quarterback that likes to scramble, move quickly on his feet, and the Michigan defense was just giving him the opportunity to do that. He found holes in the pocket, found holes in the defensive line, was able to move a lot, and he's fast, and he showed that on their first drive in these first 5 minutes.
Absolutely, and the Michigan defense, I think, is going to be maybe the biggest decider in this game. We talked about them missing Barham on the offensive line, but even against New Mexico, there were question marks surrounding the defense, both on the defensive line and in the backfield. Wink Martindale he's historically has a very good scheme. He's been an NFL guy. He's worked for Michigan for a while. And Michigan is one of those Big Ten teams that's known for hard-nosed trenches football, where they run the football down your throat and they play really good defense. So Michigan's hoping that'll be a staple for them, as they were hoping last year. Last year they struggled a little bit, especially against Texas. That was the big eye-opening game for them, was when Texas came to Ann Arbor and routed the Wolverines. But that credit where credit is due, that defensive unit did improve throughout the year. From week 1 to all the way to the ReliaQuest Bowl on New Year's Eve, that defensive unit only improved. So Coach Martindale's been working with a lot of the same group of guys and is hoping that he can kind of pick up where the defense left off at the end of last year. But so far, a little sloppy against New Mexico, a little sloppy in the opening drive here. So We'll see how they do after Michigan's first offensive drive coming up with a kickoff from Oklahoma.
And speaking of defense, we're getting at our first look at the Oklahoma defense, who's ranked one of the best defenses in the country coming into this season. So it'll be a tough test for Bryce Underwood in his first road game.
And where they really shine is their defensive line. They have three returning starters from last year. And kind of the star of that defensive line is Mason Thomas. Watch out for him, number 32. Definitely somebody that Michigan game planned for a lot at practice this week. And we'll see how Bryce Underwood responds.
Tate Sandell to take the kick for Oklahoma. Falls back into the end zone. And the Wolverines will bring the ball out for Bryce Underwood's first drive on the road.
And it's fair to say that this has been the biggest topic of conversation regarding this game. How Bryce Underwood will look in Norman in a hostile environment. And this Sooner faithful is not going easy on him so far. This place immediately erupts as he looks to take his first snap.
Underwood lines up in the pistol. Justice Haynes, the running back behind him. Underwood takes the snap. Quick handoff to Haynes. Haynes runs it up the middle. Gain of about 4 yards for the Wolverines. And it's 2nd and 6 on the 29.
Yeah, watching the personnel come in and out. No Marlon Klein in that first play. He's not out here in the second play. Max Bredesen in there as a fullback. 2 receivers came in, but we'll see. We'll see if Michigan sticks to the run or if they'll let Bryce Underwood air it out here.
Wolverines motion. Haynes moves behind Underwood. Underwood in the pistol. Motion across. Samaj Morgan. Bryce Underwood looks to pass. Finds Samaj Morgan on the outside. Numbers. Samaj up the line. He's pushed out of bounds near midfield. And Bryce Underwood gets his first down.
Missed block there. Bryce Underwood had a defender in his face, and he slips that ball out right to Samaj Morgan. One of those guys that he trusts, and somebody who's really excelled so far this year in this Michigan offense. But Bryce Underwood, pressure in his face, hostile road environment, not daunted so far.
Bryce Underwood under center. Signals for motion, hands off to Haynes. Haynes goes up the middle near the Oklahoma midfield logo, and he's stopped quickly. That Oklahoma defensive line, quick pressure.
And that's
it was Kobe McKenzie who made the tackle.
That's what Oklahoma wants. Oklahoma wants to stuff this offensive line, stop the run, force the true freshman quarterback to beat them with his arm. So they want tackles for losses, they want short runs, and they want to see if Bryce Underwood is as good as he was recruited and if he can throw this football.
Underwood in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers, 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Motion, Samaj Morgan across. Underwood hands off to Haynes again. Only for a gain of about 3 yards.
This has been Michigan's bread and butter, just running the ball. Twice here on this sequence, brings up 3rd and 4. We'll see if they go to Haynes again.
Wolverines huddle. Underwood breaks. Goodwin, the wide receiver, out towards the near side. Numbers. Justice Haynes, the running back. Underwood steps in. Haynes motioned across. Underwood looks, pass to Haynes wide. Justice Haynes tries to break through, trips up a little bit. And the Wolverines fail to get the first down on 3rd and 4. It's number 5, Kendall Daniels, the Oklahoma State transfer, on the tackle. He was the number 1 player in the state of Oklahoma coming out of high school. Previously on Oklahoma State, switched to the other side and now plays for the Sooners. And it's 4th and 5 for the Wolverines.
Haynes,
right near midfield.
Haynes unable to make a move there. Catches the pass from Underwood kind of off balance. Unable to turn upfield.
And the Wolverines are forced to punt. Hudson Hollenbeck. Ball ends up landing right about the 6-yard line. And we will see John Mateer for the 2nd time today.
Good punt there by Hudson Hollenbeck. Pins Oklahoma deep in their own territory around the 5 or 6. And that's something that's kind of an overlooked part of this Michigan team and Michigan teams in years past. Coach J.B. Brown, the special teams coach for these Wolverines, very meticulous in his work. One of the more underappreciated parts of a football team is that special teams unit, and Michigan has one of the best in the country. With Dominic Zavada, one of the best kickers in the country, returning, could have gone to the NFL, would have been likely the highest kicker taken in the draft, but he came back for another year at Michigan. Hudson Hollenbeck, good as punter as any in the country, and just a really well put together special teams unit. Pins the Sooners on to their 6.
Michigan able to back up Oklahoma near their own end zone. And Oklahoma still leads 7-0 as John Mateer takes the ball with 6 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in this first half. We saw Michigan really try to establish that run game there with Justice Haynes and weren't too successful with that. And that's definitely going to be something I think that they're going to need to rely on. We know this Michigan team, their DNA is to pound the run game. We've seen it with J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum. It's what they're known for, and they're looking to do something similar again with Justice Haynes and Bryce Underwood, but wasn't able to get things going there early.
And you do have to consider last year there was almost too much of a reliance on that hard nose running the football.
Yeah, especially with so much uncertainty at the quarterback position last season, the running backs was where you can really rely on things when you don't know who's going to be throwing the ball every week.
Yeah, absolutely. So this year with the new offensive coordinator in Chip Lindsey from North Carolina, we know he loved to run the football last year with Amarian Hampton as his star running back. His scheme seems to be a little less run heavy than previous Michigan teams, but still definitely the identity of the Wolverines. And with question marks around the offensive line and the run blocking, especially with Jayshawn Barham out for this first half, you wonder if they will start looking to the air after that lackluster first drive. They did have a big chunk play in the pass to Samaj Morgan. So I wonder if they will continue to rely on him and get the other receivers involved.
Yeah, and Bryce Underwood has an arm on him. We saw some big plays from him in the New Mexico game. And I mean, he's really just improved since the spring game to now. Seen a lot of development in him. They certainly have trust in him. He's a true freshman starting for the Michigan Wolverines. No true freshman has started since 2009. He's the fourth to ever do it in Michigan program history. So it certainly is an honor, not taken lightly. You know he's deserving of it. It's just a matter of how much they'll switch between the run and the pass game in this game. And, you know, after that first drive, they might look to throw some more passes.
And even before that, as Michigan defense needs to get their issues sorted out, I can imagine the conversation Wing Martindale had with them. They need to focus on what they know, get quick stops, get off the field, let Bryce Underwood get back out there. Don't want a long drive for Oklahoma here.
John Mateer lined up in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. And a flag is quickly thrown. False start on the offense. Number 66. And that's the right tackle, Derek Simmons, the transfer from Western Carolina. And that will back Oklahoma up even more. It's 1st and 13 on their own 3-yard line. John Mateer lined up in the end zone. John Mateer looks to pass, sends it far, a wide open Deion Burks on the far side of the field near the 40. And a huge gain for the Sooners. John Mateer just had a ton of time on that pass. And he finds an open Deion Burks.
Zeke Berry was in coverage, and Deion Burks was just absolutely wide open, far down the sideline.
Mateer in a shotgun, quick handoff to Ott. For a gain of about 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 6 on the 41-yard line for the Sooners.
Back to that long pass. Zeke Berry just lost his man right away. He had about 15 to 20 yards of separation on him. Almost would have housed it if the ball was a little overthrown. Got right to the sideline, and to catch it, Deion Burks needed to jump a little out of bounds. But Zeke Berry was nowhere close to him. He could have gone to the house if that ball was placed a little bit better.
Mateer in shotgun. Ott, the running back. Mateer has tons of time. Tries to find Deion Burks again. Pass broken up by Zeke Berry. That's the exact play we were just talking about. Zeke Berry on Deion Burks. He's able to get there first on that one. And the cornerback breaks up that play.
And that's one of those things that I love about DBs. They kind of have that mindset of individual, like you're in your individual play. It's always next ball mentality, next play mentality. You can get a pick 6 on your first play, doesn't matter. Always got to go out there and make the next play. Let up a big play, have a great pass breakup right after. Great play by Zeke Berry.
Mateer in the shotgun again with Ott, the running back. Mateer looks to find a wide open Isaiah Satania, and Satania just cannot corral the pass. And that's going to force Oklahoma to punt the ball.
Bit of a break there for the Wolverines. Kind of a brutal drop. Mateer put a little bit of a zip on that ball, and his receiver could just not haul it in. TJ Metcalf was right there, almost could have picked it, but I'm sure he was anticipating making a tackle rather than looking for the ball.
Just hits the hands of Satania, and he's not able to grab that one. Satania, the Arkansas transfer, as Oklahoma punts the ball away for the first time. Michigan signals for fair catch. And we will see Bryce Underwood again, as Michigan's defense keeps Oklahoma scoreless despite that huge play and gain by John Mateer and Deion Burks. Michigan catches a break and keeps Oklahoma from scoring anymore.
Yeah, that's a good defensive standing there by Wing Martindale's squad. Even if they might have gotten bailed out by a drop there, and kind of a bad ball on that big chunk play. But all you can ask for is to get off the field, and we'll see Michigan's offense come out here. And you got to wonder what their game plan will be. I want to talk about Samaj Morgan a little bit.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys last year, kind of thrust into a wide receiver 1 role and kind of struggled at times. He's one of the, he's not the biggest guy. He kind of relies on his speed and his quick hands. And I think he's one of those guys that he serves much better when he can be used in ways that isn't as a wide receiver 1. He's kind of one of those gadget receivers, where he's much better. He's much better when used alongside like a big X like Donovan McCulley, or a quick route runner like Channing Goodwin. And he's Bryce Underwood's close friend, and I think you're going to see a lot of that connection this season in kind of unorthodox ways. And I think we saw that already on the first drive here, and I think that's going to be a guy to look for throughout the remainder of this game.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like you said, we saw him there on the first drive from Bryce Underwood. It was only 1 of 2 completions from Underwood. A
lot of Michigan faithful here in Norman today.
They got the whole upper section right across from us.
And a lot of respect between these two teams, both between fandoms and just production in general. But pregame we saw a video, and it was, instead of like an Oklahoma hype video, it was a video like honoring the history of both of these storied programs.
It's rare that you see that. A lot of respect between these two college schools.
Especially interesting considering the budding rivalry between the Big Ten and the SEC. It almost feels like nowadays you're seeing more. You're almost seeing like Michigan fans root for Ohio State against Texas because they care.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't know.
They care so much about the Big Ten asserting their dominance over the SEC.
I mean, you're definitely right. I had some friends rooting for Ohio State. I thought it was a little questionable decision over Texas, but you definitely have the Big Ten SEC rivalry. Two of the biggest places for college football.
Yeah, certainly. Like the Power 4 conferences might end up being Power 2 pretty soon.
Yeah,
here.
right?
As
it feels like it already almost.
Yeah, Oklahoma is an example. They played in the Big 12 for as long as they've been a team. And then just the recent switch. This is their second year in the SEC. Played okay last year. Had a similar season to Michigan actually. They won about 6 games. Actually ended their season with a win over Alabama before qualifying for a bowl game.
Just like us, we ended our season with the win over Alabama. As Bryce Underwood gets ready, Michigan Wolverines are on the 12-yard line. Bryce Underwood in the shotgun. Justice Haynes, the running back. Underwood, quick snap, steps back. Underwood over the middle to the far side. Almost intercepted by Gentry Williams. There was no one there for the Wolverines. It looked like it was a straight pass to Gentry Williams on the near side.
And that ball absolutely should have been picked. That's one of those, you're not sure if that's Bryce Underwood or Donovan McCulley's fault, but that Donovan McCulley was not anywhere near that ball. Either he did not run his route and Bryce Underwood trusted him, or Bryce made a terrible read. That's one of those freshman mistakes, but did not end up costing the Wolverines a turnover.
Underwood takes a snap, hands off to Haynes. Haynes is brought down immediately, but there's a quick flag on the play for face mask.
Justin Haynes immediately looks to the official and grabs his face mask as that flag comes out. The Wolverines look like they're going to get spotted 15 here.
Personal foul, face mask on defense, number 97, Marvin Jones Jr. That's the Florida State transfer who gets called for the penalty.
Yeah, absolutely brutal break for the Sooners there, who almost had a pick and then had a tackle for loss. Michigan was certainly going to have to punt until that face mask. And now they get a fresh set of downs at their own 27.
But again, there we see Michigan kind of struggling to establish the run game. Max Bredesen in on the right side of Underwood. Justice Haynes behind him, hands off to Haynes. Haynes up the middle. Justice Haynes breaks the tackles. And Justice Haynes picks up 7 yards on the play, and Michigan will spot the ball on the 34-yard line.
Really strong run by Haynes there. That's what you want to see. That's what a lot of what you saw against New Mexico. He was turning 5-yard gains into 6-7-yard gains, and then he broke a couple off. That's kind of the tone you want to set here if you're the Michigan offensive line.
2nd and 3 for the Wolverines. Underwood in the shotgun. Haynes on his left. Samaj Morgan motion across. Haynes quick handoff to Haynes. Underwood. Gosh,
little trickery attempt
tricked
there.
me.
Little trickery there.
Oh my gosh.
Underwood handed off to Justin Haynes, who flipped it to Donovan McCulley running the reverse, but he was brought down in the backfield, lost everything that Justice Haynes gained on that initial run. Looking at 3rd and 10, and that gets the Oklahoma crowd going.
So it's 3rd and 10 for the Wolverines on the 27. Tried to tricked me on the play. Underwood in the shotgun. Underwood claps 3 times, steps back, Underwood looks, Underwood runs to his right. Underwood throws the ball, finds Donovan McCulley, who's going to take it up the near sideline. And a wide open pass to Donovan McCulley, who gets yards after the catch. And the Wolverines find themselves on Oklahoma's 34-yard line.
I think everyone in the stadium, including us, thought Bryce Underwood was going to continue to run that football. I almost thought he was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw it. But he looked like he was ready to go, and then he just flicked that right to Donovan McCulley down the sideline, which is something that you love to see from an athletic quarterback. Somebody who's a threat on the ground, draws defenders to him, but he can make an elite play with his arm and turn nothing into something.
A gain of 38 for the Wolverines. Underwood, quick handoff to Justice Haynes, not able to pick up much, if anything, before he's met by number 34.
So it does seem like Chip Lindsey is being a little conservative in his play calls here. It doesn't seem like he wants to let Underwood throw it as much as Mateer is already. But Bryce has been the one powering this offense. Their drives down the field so far have been propelled by him and his arm.
3 wide receivers for Underwood. Quick pass to Justice Haynes, and he's immediately tackled. A hard tackle on Justice Haynes.
The Oklahoma defense read that one right away. Screen pass in the backfield to Justin Haynes, and he gets immediately blown up.
Kendall Daniels, I mean, he just mauls him to the ground. And it's 3rd and 14 for the Wolverines. A lot to gain.
That just got the stadium
Motions
alive.
Justice Haynes across. Pass to Samaj Morgan. Samaj Morgan has it in his hands, can't grab it, fumbles the football. And the Wolverines, incomplete pass, not able to pick up anything. And the Wolverines will be forced to punt the football again.
Despite having quite the leg on Zavada, they are electing not to kick the 60-yarder right now. They'll punt instead. Yeah, Samaj Morgan, even if he did catch that one, didn't look like he had much room to go. Looks like they were just trying to get into field goal range a little bit. Uncharacteristic drop by Samaj Morgan there. Forces a Wolverine punt.
So Hudson Hollenbeck comes back for the Wolverines, punts the ball from about the 50-yard line. That one heads back into the end zone and out of play. And Oklahoma's offense will take the field for the third time today. With 56 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Oklahoma leads 7-0. Michigan with only 63 total yards on 2 drives, 12 rushing yards, 51 passing yards, really struggling to get their run game going, and the passing game as well. I mean, Michigan's offense is just having a hard time with this Oklahoma defense. Oklahoma's defense is so quick to pressure them on almost every play. The passes that we've seen Underwood complete were almost just wide open passes that the Wolverines were able to beat coverage in. John Mateer lines up in a shotgun. Mateer has time, finds Isaiah Satenia, who makes a slant route up the middle.
And again, this Michigan defense is just being sliced through in the middle of the field. There is nobody in coverage between the safeties and front 4.
And it was Lewis with the catch. And a quick
pass by Mateer.
A quick pass by Mateer, intercepted by TJ Metcalf at about the 40-yard line. Mateer just runs a quick play, and TJ Metcalf is just there to grab it.
I think we were all, the whole stadium, including us, was a little caught off guard by that.
The stadium is silent.
That was his receiver was open, but Mateer overthrew him.
Yeah.
And TJ Metcalf was just there to pick up the ball. Great break for the Wolverines as they force a turnover on Oklahoma's 3rd drive of the game.
Yeah.
And I think the stadium is still a little confused as to what just happened.
So Bryce Underwood and the Wolverines offense takes the field again. Jordan Marshall, the running back in for the Wolverines, takes it up the middle.
First time we've seen Marshall today. He runs for about 2. And now we might start to see if they like him on this drive a little bit better than Justice Haynes.
And Jordan Marshall's the sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio. Only started 1 game last year, which was Michigan's final game of the season in the ReliaQuest Bowl against Alabama. He had 29 yards versus New Mexico. As we have reached the end of the first quarter in Norman, Oklahoma. I mean, that was kind of a whirlwind of a first quarter. I mean, especially with the interception here near the end from Metcalf.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I think you saw a lot of the things that people expected from Oklahoma. I think they were favored in this game. Line was 5.5 all week, moved down to 4.5 last night or this morning. But the expectation was that Oklahoma was going to have an edge over Michigan here, and that's kind of what we saw in both teams' first 2 drives. Oklahoma was not running the ball amazing, but was able to kind of take advantage and manipulate the Michigan secondary, which I had some big question marks coming in before this game, and had some big plays. But I think you did also see some mistakes by John Mateer, especially considering that interception at the end.
Yeah.
He had his receiver wide open over the middle, as he's had for most of that quarter, and he just overthrew him. And that's one of Michigan's mantras, overthrows and tip throws. They get those. And that's exactly what it was. TJ Metcalf was in the right place at the right time, gets that interception, cuts a break for his team. And so, yeah, you're excited to see the Michigan Wolverines offense here with a chance to tie this game.
Yeah.
But they do need to look a little bit better. I think their run the run game has not been what they had hoped, but Bryce Underwood, I think, has looked still poised and sharp in that first quarter. He had one big mistake, should have been an interception, but Oklahoma could just not haul it in. Since then, he's had a couple really good plays. A really nice chunk play to Sommers Morgan, another one to Donovan McCulley, where it looked like he showed off his athleticism, looked like he was going to try and run for the first down, but flicked it to Donovan McCulley for a 38-yard pickup. Didn't result in anything, as Chip Lindsey's play calling did end up losing some yardage immediately following that. But I think if you're Michigan, there's a lot of stuff you saw that you did not like, but I think there are also some things that you like where you don't feel like this game is out of reach coming into the second quarter down 7.
No, and I mean, exactly like you said, it's not out of reach at all. They're only down a touchdown in a game that we expected this to be rather low scoring coming into this one, which it has been so far. Michigan's still not able to get on the board, haven't been in field goal range. We haven't seen them use Dominic Zavada or get in the red zone. So, I mean, Michigan's offense hasn't gotten going, and, I mean, especially like you mentioned, the run game. But now we're seeing Jordan Marshall get in the mix. It was Justice Haynes on their first 2 drives entirely, and then now Jordan Marshall, their RB2, coming in to hopefully get some more movement going. But, I mean, we talked about Oklahoma's defense in the middle, just how dominant they are and how quick they are to pressure Michigan's running backs and pressure them and not let them find a lot of space. Michigan's tried to run it down the middle a lot, but they're just quick to collapse inside.
Yeah, I think Michigan's game plan here on out is definitely get some points on the board offensively, but on defense, just hold on until they can get Jayshon Barham back for the second half.
Yeah, and I think that'll be a huge addition for them after these 15 minutes of play.
Coming into the second quarter, Bryce Underwood is 4 for 6 with 51 yards. John Mateer is 7 for 12 with 114.
Underwood lines up in a pistol. Underwood handoff. Drives up the middle for a gain of about 3 yards. It's Kip Lewis on the tackle. And it's 3rd and 5 for the Wolverines on their own 43-yard line. Wolverines desperately needing a first down, especially after a huge interception that looked like it could swing some momentum their way. Underwood in the shotgun. Underwood steps back, has time, tries to find Sommers Morgan to his right. And an incomplete pass. It was Kip Daniels again with the coverage.
And that is one of those balls by Bryce Underwood that just looked like it had a little too much zip on it. He missed Sommers Morgan, and that ball was going a little fast. That's one of those balls. He was criticized a little bit in his debut against New Mexico for not putting enough touch on these footballs. Criticism is that he threw them a little too hard, and that's kind of what we saw there. Tough 3-and-out after the DJ Metcalf interception.
And a low snap. Hudson Hollenbach on the punt. He gets tackled right after.
Looks like some Michigan fans wanted some running into the kicker, but
ball ends up on about the 25-yard line for Oklahoma.
Yeah, 3 sort of lackluster drives by Michigan so far. The first 2 had some promise. That third one there, 3-and-out after an interception. Not ideal for Chip Lindsey in this top 25 matchup so far. I'm curious to see how he's going to utilize Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall. It looks like he's giving them each a drive, but I wonder if he'll start splitting them up in the same drive. That's something that you see a lot in the NFL and in college football with these two-headed monsters, they're called, when you have 2 elite running backs. Rather than giving each of them a drive, a lot of times it's beneficial to let them each take snaps in the same drive. as they'll be less tired than the defensive line after enough time. And maybe that's what Chip Lindsey's going for. He's trying to just run the ball until the defensive line gets tired, and then you maybe utilize Justice Haynes for a while, and then switch to Jordan Marshall, keep his endurance up. But so far, the Justice Haynes has not been as effective as he was last week against New Mexico. No,
he certainly hasn't, and we've seen Michigan's running backs take a lot of their routes up the middle. We haven't seen a lot of out routes where they go towards the sideline. And, you know, with Oklahoma's defensive line being able to collapse in the middle, you wonder if they're going to pull some of these runs outside and have them try to run it down the sideline instead of going up the middle.
Yeah, you want to see, and I think something that's considerable to note is that we have not seen Marlon Klein out on the field yet today.
And I don't know if we will.
No, and that's something that Michigan has kind of loves their tight ends in the receiving game. They're kind of the star of the show in years past. Michigan not known for really flashy receivers. Roman Wilson has been their highest profile receiver in the past few years, and even he was never one of the top high-end guys in college football. But when you look at guys like Luke Shoemaker and Colston Loveland, those guys have been some of the elite pass-catching tight ends in all of college football. Yeah. And Marlon Klein has been slated to be the next man up in that. But with his appearance on the field in a boot today, and his lack of availability on the field, you're not seeing Bryce Underwood have what appeared to be his number one option. Yeah, and I mean, we've certainly seen flashes of what Marlon Klein can be in his game against New Mexico. I mean, he was named one of the captains of this Michigan team this year. He had a touchdown in the game against New Mexico, 93 yards. I mean, we saw the production from him already, but it looks like he will be without for the remainder of today's game. I mean, like you said, walking around in a boot, a little bit gingerly on that leg. But John Mateer and the Oklahoma offense steps back onto the field. Mateer lined up in a shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Mateer, quick handoff, tries to run up the middle. And Oklahoma looks for a gain of about 4 yards. And now Michigan trying to close in on this run, not let them go anywhere. I think that's where Oklahoma struggled last week was in the run versus the air. So I think if Michigan can stifle that, force Mateer to throw the ball and play and have some better defensive coverage, they could play a little bit more stoutly on defense here. Mateer snaps, has time in the pocket. Looks down the middle for a quick pass to Isaiah Satania, who's tackled immediately. But a gain of 7 yards for Oklahoma, and it's 3rd and 3 on the 30. Brings up a very significant 3rd down for Michigan. Cole Sullivan looked to want to blitz there, but snap did not go off. Oklahoma faithful thought he was going to jump off sides. Mateer takes the snap, quick handoff. The running back in for Oklahoma is Torrey Blaylock, the true freshman who played really well versus Illinois State. He had 42 yards and a touchdown. He came out of that game a little sore, a little banged up. Wasn't sure how many snaps he was going to take today, but he's in again. Mateer fakes the handoff to Blaylock, runs it up the middle himself. And a pack of Wolverines have to haul him down. But a gain of 6 on the play as John Mateer runs for it himself. Yeah, so far it feels like John Mateer is doing kind of whatever he wants to this Michigan defense, whether it's through the air or on the ground with his legs. Not really much the Wolverines have done. Almost got a stop there on 3rd down. Brandon Hillman was a little late to the tackle, and they Sooners barely got the 1st down, but now it looks like this drive is coming together for them with the 2nd and 5. Blaylock the back again. Mateer with a lateral pass behind to him. And he's brought down
The lateral pass to Isaiah Satania. He's able to pick up the first down. That was Blaylock, my bad.
Dom Nichols and another Michigan defender on the tackle. Michigan defender is down. Looks like it could be Brandon Hillman. Brandon Hillman on the tackle unable to get up. He's surrounded by coaches and training staff. He's one of those guys that Michigan really likes, a leader on the defense and in the secondary. Be a tough loss, especially for this this defense already missing pieces.
So a quick pause with 11:30 to play left in the first half as he's helped up by the trainers. And it looks like you're right, Brandon Hillman was down for the Wolverines. And he runs off on his own accord. But he heads over to the sideline.
He's jogging off. He looks like
he's on his way to the tent.
And we'll wait to hear more. But so far, that's another key piece for this Michigan defense, who will not be in for the remainder of this drive at least.
Oklahoma still leading the Wolverines 7-0. It's 1st and 10 for them on the 46-yard line. Pickup of another first down.
Yeah, and this, like I was saying, this Michigan defense so far has not been as advertised. It was supposed to be one of their strengths coming into this game, but it was one of those areas that you felt like was going to make or break the game.
Yeah.
How will Michigan's defense do against the star-studded quarterback in John Mateer, his receivers, that elite running back room? So far, they have not answered the bell. Obviously, with Bangham coming back in the second half, maybe things will change. But so far, Michigan offense has obviously not been off to a great start, but has not been the liability so far that Michigan's defense seems to be.
Yeah, but they're certainly still in this game. Only 7-0. I mean, one possession game. They're far from out of it.
Yeah, certainly. They are still competitive in this game, as, like you said, only down one score. 11:30 here to play in the second quarter in Norman. Looks to be a beautiful night. There was some talk of rain earlier.
I hope there's no rain.
As we are, our seats are outside.
We're pretty covered.
Yeah. Michigan did have a couple. It was a little stormy in Ann Arbor this week. There were a couple practices in the rain. So in preparation.
Yeah, they're ready for it.
Yeah, ready. Skies look clear so far, but if it ends up happening, Wolverines should be well prepared. So fresh set of downs for Oklahoma coming out of the TV timeout. Not quite yet in Michigan territory.
Yeah, Oklahoma still on their own 46-yard line. Isaiah Satania motions across. Mateer, quick handoff. Handoff to Torrey Blaylock. Ernest Hausman on the tackle. He's another one of Michigan's captains. And Ernest Hausman has really produced a lot for this Wolverine team. His role has certainly expanded as Mateer takes a quick snap. Looks to find Deion Burks at the near sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds almost immediately by Jair Hill.
Yeah, Ernest Hausman, one of those leaders in the locker room, a linebacker, been with the team a while. One of those guys who really shine. His teammates love him. He brings the energy at practice every day. Just a great open field tackler. Just a great guy, showing blitz right now.
Mateer takes the snap. Mateer scrambles, tries to find room, and he's sacked, brought down by the Wolverines.
That was Cole Sullivan who got him. One of those guys stepping up for Jayshawn Barham. And that's the first time John Mateer has faced real pressure all day, and he's brought down by the Wolverines. You love to see that as a Wolverine fan. I'm sure Wink Martindale is happy about that one, as it forces an Oklahoma punt with 10 minutes here to go here in the second quarter.
There you saw Cole Sullivan with the sack. Ernest Hausman helped bring him down.
Maybe that'll bring some momentum to the Michigan sideline and help encourage his offense to get on the board here.
Some much needed momentum for the Wolverines, as Samaj Morgan fields the catch for Michigan. And we will get yet again another look at Bryce Underwood.
Our next look at Bryce Underwood will come immediately, not after another 3-minute timeout.
Thankfully.
Which the ABC broadcast loves.
Yeah, they're taking their sweet time with this first half.
One of the staples of college football recently.
Yeah.
Sooners letting Bryce Underwood hear it after the last 3 and out on their own 15.
Sooner fans getting loud and rowdy. Goodwin motions. Underwood with a quick handoff. And Jordan Marshall is tackled almost immediately. Owen Heineke on the tackle for Oklahoma. He's actually an Ohio State transfer. He played there in 2021, and he actually played lacrosse. He didn't even play football. He was a dual athlete in high school, played lacrosse and football, had some offers for football, but chose to play lacrosse, and now he's here on Oklahoma's football team as a linebacker, and he immediately tackles. And now Bryce Underwood with another quick handoff, run almost an identical play as before, tries to run it up the middle for a gain of almost nothing.
Yeah, and this is something that isn't unexpected, but is certainly unwelcome for the Wolverines, as the dominance of Oklahoma's defensive line has been the focus so far in this game. Just absolutely no room to run for the Wolverines, Haynes and Marshall, and the offensive line just getting kind of worked by the Oklahoma defensive line right now.
Underwood, quick snap. Hands off to Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes tries to run down the near sideline. He's pushed out of bounds almost immediately near the 15. And it's 3 and out for the Michigan Wolverines. They try to run it on all 3 plays. The first 2 to Jordan Marshall, the third to Justice Haynes. And yet again, they just cannot get their running game going today.
Yeah, no, back-to-back 3 and outs for the Wolverine. One coming off a pick, one coming off a really good defensive stand. Yeah, it just feels like they've got nowhere to go on the ground. And hard to say if that can be attributed to the offensive line or the running backs.
Yeah.
You have to assume that a lot of credit can be given to the Oklahoma strong defensive line.
And once again, the punt for Hudson Hollenbach. He's knocked to the ground almost immediately, but this time 2 flags fly out.
And the call here will be significant.
Yeah.
Whether it's running into the kicker or roughing the kicker, as it is. It was 4th and 8, so running into the kicker would be trivial, as they would just redo the punt, but roughing the kicker would be significant, as it would be a fresh set of downs for the Wolverines.
The Wolverines can only hope.
And the call is roughing the kicker, and Michigan will get a fresh set of downs, and the Sooner faithful is not happy.
I mean, a huge break for the Wolverines on this play. They had consecutive 3rd and outs, hoping to get something going. They couldn't. They were forced to punt back in their own end zone. And I mean, a huge call. I mean, that was the second time Hudson Hollenbach has been ran into on the kick. We saw him go down after his punt previously, and there was nothing called on that play, but this time he's just absolutely tackled.
Right, just a mistake there by the Oklahoma special teams unit. Just kind of sloppy. Looks like he was tackled and then drove into the ground well after the punt. Just unnecessary and costly, as the Wolverines get a free 15.
Underwood in the pistol. Justice Haynes blocks for him. Underwood tries to find receiver on the near side.
Looked like that might have been Zach Marshall.
Yeah, getting his first
the target.
Snaps of the day. But Underwood just threw it ahead of him.
Yeah, it looks like he was hit as he threw it. Didn't really have anywhere to put that ball. But yeah, Zach Marshall out there as a receiver, receiving tight end. Been the backup to Marlon Klein for most of camp. Got a target, no reception though.
Underwood, quick snap, handoff to Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes runs up the middle, but a flag on the play. As things get a little scrappy at midfield.
Some extracurricular after the flag flew. Donovan McCulley looked to get into a little bit of a tangle with two Oklahoma defenders. We'll see what the flag is. You would think offensive holding, which would just be a drive killer for these Wolverines.
And it's defensive holding. Automatic first down and another huge break for the Wolverines.
Another extension of this drive on penalties for the Wolverines. This one coming on second down after a couple not so great plays, but yeah, this ball has moved almost to midfield based solely on penalties. Yeah. And now the Wolverines' fourth drive of the day continues.
And the penalty was on Taylor Wine. Underwood snap, quick handoff. Justice Haynes runs toward the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds at the near sideline.
And there is some life in this run game now, as Haynes is able to break outside and get upfield for about 6 yards.
It was the true freshman Cortland Guillory from Houston, Texas, pushing him out of bounds. I mean, the Oklahoma fans are going crazy.
I thought something happened.
I know. I was like, was there a flag on the field? Like,
they're just letting Underwood hear it.
Yeah.
On second and 2.
Underwood in the pistol. Quick handoff. Once again, trying to run things up the middle for a gain of nothing, and it's going to stay at 3rd and 2.
And you got to wonder what the play call is here. It's short enough you feel like a run would do it, but they've been getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage pretty easily. So you got to wonder if they're gonna look to throw it. Oklahoma's obviously going to be conscious of where the line to gain is.
Bryce Underwood lined up under center. Justice Haynes, the running back, a few yards back. Max Bredesen lined up in front of him. Max Bredesen blocks for Justice Haynes.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Is it enough for the first down?
The far sideline official, the spot seems to be good.
It looks like they might give it to them. It was Peyton Bowen on the tackle.
Looks like Giovanni Ahadi is down for the Wolverines. The captain of this, one of the captains on this Michigan team, the leader on the offensive line, one of Sharon Moore's guys.
Yeah.
As he was his offensive line coach, just helped recruit him when he was the offensive line coach, and then served as offensive coordinator. Been on the team for a long time. Down on the field, trainers help him, would be a major loss for the Wolverines. It does look like they got that first down, as reaffirmed by the "Ref, you suck" chant from Oklahoma.
Yeah, but Justice Haynes able to rush for a gain of 8 yards before he was pushed out of bounds previously. And then they're able to run it up the middle to get that quick gain.
An expensive gain at that, as Giovanni Ahadi is still on the ground at midfield with trainers around him. Looks like he is sitting up.
And he puts his arm around the athletic trainers as he needs help walking off the field. You can see him not really putting any pressure on that left leg, as he has an athletic trainer on both of his sides. They're going to take their time walking him off the field. I mean, this is someone, like you said, a captain for Michigan, one of the guys that's heavily trusted by this entire team, by Sharon Moore. And if they're to lose him in this game, that could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough break, especially with the already banged up Michigan defense. Losing one of your best offensive starters would be trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with the way Michigan has really struggled to kind of establish that run game. We've seen them start to get a little bit of things going, but to lose your left guard and lose some of that protection on the offensive line for blocking, I mean...
Yeah, especially considering how dominant the Oklahoma defensive line has already been. You've got Andrew Sprague, who was banged up coming into this. He would be one of the potential replacements for El Hadi or Greg Tarr. Curious to see who will replace El Hadi, but just bummer for the Wolverines if El Hadi was unable to return. We'll know more, likely not until the second half.
And they're just 5 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock in the first half. And I mean, the Wolverines have struggled today. It feels like nothing's really gone their way. They've gotten a few penalties that have gone their way recently, but other than that, it's just been a tough one for them here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Nathan Afobe is out there on the left side of the line to replace El Hadi. And we will see how they do with him replacing El Hadi.
Bryce Underwood in the shotgun. Justice Haynes, the running back. Underwood runs himself, looks to pass, finds Channing Goodwin wide open on the far side. And he picks up a first down. It seems like when they let Bryce Underwood throw the ball, he's found some big plays to Samaj Morgan, to Donovan McCulley, and now Channing Goodwin getting in on the mix.
Absolutely. We talked about Michigan wide receivers being kind of underappreciated in the general college football landscape. Maybe part of that is because their identity is to not really throw the ball their way. But Channing Goodwin is one of those guys, we saw it last week. Get him targets, get him receptions. He will make plays down the field. So we'll see if they cut Bryce Underwood loose here.
Channing Goodwin with a pickup of 25 yards for Michigan. And once again, Michigan tries to run the ball up the middle, and they're stuffed quickly.
They do end up plunging. Looks to be about into the red zone. Oh, they're just shy, but this would be their first red zone appearance of the day.
The board here at the field says 2nd and 8 on the 20. So just about for the Wolverines. It was Kip Lewis on the tackle again that pushed Goodwin out of bounds. Bryce Underwood in the shotgun. A quick toss to Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes sidesteps the defender, and he's down at about the 15-yard line.
Really good run by Justice Haynes there. I saw him, he cut it outside of the 20. I didn't think he was going anywhere. He made a guy miss, broke another tackle. They loaded up that left side. They had Max Bredesen blocking. Justice Haynes able to get outside and then get vertical.
I mean, Max Bredesen, such a huge key piece to this offense. Just his size and his ability to block, give room for those running backs.
Yeah, absolutely. You can almost tell which way the play is going to go based on where he's lined up. He's on the right side right now.
And Justice Haynes lined up to the right side of Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood fakes pass. Tries to find Donovan McCulley. The pass looked to be overthrown, but a flag quickly thrown. Looks like McCulley was held up at about the 5-yard line.
And if this does end up going Michigan's way, Oklahoma is not going to be happy. It would be their third drive extending penalty on this drive alone. Essentially gotten them all the way down to the field with the roughing the kicker and a face mask, or our defensive holding, excuse me. And now this would give the Wolverines a fresh set of downs inside the 10-yard line, looking to find pay dirt. I believe the official just said it was. There's no foul on the play for pass interference. Oklahoma faithful is excited about that. as the Michigan kick
thrilled.
system comes out.
So we get our first look at Dominic Zavada today.
Dominic Zavada, one of the most adored guys in the Michigan locker room, both by players and coaches.
And one of the most consistent kickers in college football. And the kick from Dominic Zavada is no good. You hear the Oklahoma fans scream immediately. The kick looked like it was far left. And Michigan fails to put up any points on the board. Dominic Zavada was 21 for 22 last year, only missed one field goal.
Yeah, I was holding my breath there, Sydney, after the announcer's jinx. But yeah, that one just slips to the left.
Just barely misses the left upright. And a rare miss from Dominic Zavada.
Yeah, brutal break for the Wolverines. Drive extended all the way down to the 20. Dominic Zavada, like we said, one of the best kickers in college football, ends up missing. Absolutely brutal break as Wolverines are still scoreless.
And a quick snap from Oklahoma. John Mateer holds onto the ball. He runs up through the middle himself. And a gain of 3 as the quarterback runs for it himself. We've seen him scramble a lot. He likes to keep the ball. He likes to run. And it's 2nd and 9 for Oklahoma. Still 7-0. The Wolverines still scoreless on a drive that looked like they had a lot going for them, not able to come away with any points. Just 2 minutes and 43 seconds and counting left in this first half. Mateer snaps, sends handoff to Jaden Ott. And Michigan defense collapses him quickly. And he's held up. And it's 3rd and 3.
Jaden Ott, another one of those transfers on this team, the senior from Cal. You'll probably expect to see him a lot in this revamped Oklahoma offense. Pretty good run right there. Sets up 3rd and 3 for Oklahoma in their own territory.
And the snap from John Mateer. The flag is thrown almost immediately as he looks for Deion Burks down the near sideline.
Yeah, that looked to be a free play.
Yeah.
It's like Wolverines jumped off sides, maybe feeling the effects of this Oklahoma crowd. So we are a second away from the sort of newly added two-minute timeout.
There was 2 penalties on the defense on that play. The one that's being enforced is hands to the face.
Yeah, it looks like Oklahoma's now getting some action and some of this penalty action that Michigan benefited so much from on the last drive.
1 second away from the 2-minute warning. John Mateer finds Deion Burks on the near side. And he ends up near the 45-yard line before he's taken down. Brought down by TJ Guy on the Wolverines. TJ Guy, someone who's really cemented himself on this Michigan defensive line. He had an interception, his first of his career versus New Mexico last week. He was named the team's most improved player on defense last year. And he makes the tackle as we head to the 2-minute warning. There's 1 minute and 55 seconds left in the first half. 2nd and 7 on the 45 for the Sooners.
Yeah, you mentioned TJ Guy. He's one of those guys who coming into the season was expected to be a national name in college football. Another one of the Michigan is known for their defensive line stars. I think in the last 11 years, they've had 17 defensive linemen drafted, which is just absurd to think about. Michigan is one of the best programs at building and developing defensive line talent, and TJ Guy is kind of slated to be that next man up. You'd expect to see him go kind of early in the NFL draft, depending on the season he has. He's akin to the likes of an Aiden Hutchinson or last year the interior defensive line guys like Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. Yeah, supposed to be a star, and like you said, last week got the interception. Great start to the season for him. He's a reserve captain today as due to Derek Moore and Marlon Klein's injuries. He's a leader on the defense. He's a star on this team, and he can help kind of shut down this drive for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and with a defense that feels like it's just waiting for the return of Jason Barham in the second half, you wonder if that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, and as negatively as we've talked about the Michigan defense so far, Jaden, they have held Oklahoma to 7 points here with 2 minutes left. If they can force a stop and a punt here, coming up with 2nd and 7 to go, I think all things considered, a pretty good half looking at the box score for them. Obviously, you had some big chunk plays that blew up their defense, but a lot of those didn't end up resulting in points. They did force a turnover. TJ Metcalf got that overthrown ball from John Mature, and yeah, you're excited about what they're going to do in the second half if they're able to go into the second half only giving up 7 points.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. We have to give them credit. It is only 7-0. They're still far from out of this game. And it's impressive what they've been able to do to keep their offense in this game. It feels like Oklahoma's had some big plays here and there, but Michigan's defense keeping them in this game.
Yeah, as the offense, this is a lot of what we saw last year with the Michigan offense unable to score points so far. And you gotta give them the benefit of the doubt here with Bryce Underwood in his first away start.
Yeah.
Obviously not going to be a perfect first half, but all you can hope for is that they come out in the second half and perform better. But the Michigan defense does still have a job to do here on 2nd and 7. As the 2-minute timeout comes to a close, the Sooners in their own territory looking to get points on the board before the halftime break.
Jaden Ott, who's the running back, runs out to the near side, lined up like a receiver. No running backs next to John Mateer. John Mateer takes a snap, looks. He has time. He looks for Jaden. He looks for Deion Burks. That pass broken up by...
Zeke Berry was in coverage.
Yeah.
Looks like he just got in between the ball and Burks. Didn't even turn to face it, but the ball hit him in the back.
Looks like it just hit off his head.
Yeah, and deflected up in the air, almost picked by Brandon Hillman, who is back in the game after the injury earlier this quarter. That ball almost intercepted off the deflection, brings up 3rd down.
John Mateer steps back. Mateer up the middle, wide open. And that's Keontae Lewis with the catch. He falls immediately, but he picks up the first down for the Sooners. 1st and 10 on 44. Hand off to Barnes. He runs it up the middle. Breaks the Michigan tackles.
Yeah, both of those plays back-to-back are kind of indicative of how this game has gone. Just a wide open catch up the middle for a fresh set of downs, and then just a run that should have been brought down after 2 yards ends up being 10 due to strong running and missed tackles.
And he picks up another first down for the Sooners. Mateer claps his hands. A bit of a high snap. Mateer takes it himself, runs it up the middle, just finds a hole in Michigan's defense before he's stuffed at about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this Michigan defense looks a little gassed. That's three kind of medium chunk plays in a row as Oklahoma's just chewing away this clock already well into field goal range. They're trying to walk out of this up 2 scores at the minimum, maybe up 14-0 if they can find pay dirt here.
John Mateer picks up 8 yards himself with 44 seconds left. John Mateer fakes a handoff to Barnes. Mateer finds a wide open pass. Deion Burks. And he picks up another first down for Oklahoma. And they're on the 4-yard line.
And Jaden, I feel like I've heard you say Deion Burke's name about 100 times today. That was his 6th catch, I believe. Brings him up to over 80 yards.
Barnes, the running back. Mateer, quick handoff, runs it up the middle. Stuffed by Michigan's defense, but a pickup of about a yard.
Yeah, Deion Burke's ending up so far 6 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown.
And a timeout for Oklahoma. But you can see John Mateer putting his hands up in the air, getting this crowd going. There's just 26 seconds left in the first half, but they're on the 2-yard line. And it's 2nd down. Trying, like you said, to make this a 2-score game before heading into halftime.
Yeah, we just spent the 2-minute timeout talking up Michigan's defense and how, even though there have been some holes, they have held the Sooners to only 7 points. Now here with less than 30 seconds left, Oklahoma on Michigan's 2-yard line. It looks more than likely that they will extend their lead to 14-0 and kind of put the Wolverines in a hole coming out of the second half. You also do have to remember that Oklahoma will get the ball at the start of the second half.
Yes.
Chance to double up here, maybe take a 21-0 lead. But maybe this Michigan defense has something to say about that before the end of the half.
So it looks like it's going to be Javonte Barnes, the running back for Oklahoma, lined up to the left side of Mateer. Mateer claps, takes a snap. Mateer takes it himself and he runs in the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
And the fireworks fly at Memorial Stadium as the Sooners take a 13-0 lead, 14-0 pending the extra point.
And Mateer, he fakes the handoff to Barnes and he just finds the hole himself and takes it in as he's credited with the touchdown. He rushed for 1 touchdown last week at Illinois State as they take the extra point. And they add 1 to their score. And Oklahoma is going to go ahead 14-0 with 22 seconds left in the first half.
Yes, and Jaden, I did previously misspeak. Michigan kicked off in the first half, and so they will receive the ball in the second half. So Oklahoma, no chance to double up here. Oklahoma, no chance to double up with their 14-0 lead. Michigan will have a chance on offense coming out of the half. They also have 22 seconds here, so I wonder if they will attempt to get something going or just knee this out. They would need a couple of big chunk plays to try and get Dominic Zavada into field goal range. He did already miss one today.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic for him, but we'll see how this return goes for the Wolverines and if they will try to get something going in the last 20 seconds here on offense.
Yeah, and a less than 3-minute drive for Oklahoma. 10 plays, they picked up 80 yards. And that's the most efficient we've seen them all day.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times that's what you see here, especially early into the college football season. Teams really kind of start slow and then really get into gear as the game progresses. So you'll see 2-minute offenses, 4-minute offenses, and those things will be clicking way more than they were in the beginning of the game.
So Tate Sandell will take the kick for Oklahoma, falls back into the end zone and out of play for a touchback. And we will see Michigan's offense for 22 more seconds in the first half. The Oklahoma fans all on their feet. It's loud in here, and they're excited.
Yeah, well, despite the score here, it has been a pretty fun environment to be in.
Yeah. It certainly has, making the trip down here from Ann Arbor. Not the game we hope to see from the Wolverines so far, but still plenty of time left. Bryce Underwood in shotgun, takes a snap, quick handoff, fakes a pass. But Justice Haynes runs it once again.
It doesn't look like Michigan's going for anything on offense here. They're just going to let this clock run down. and end the first half down 14.
And that'll do it for the first half in Norman, Oklahoma. The Michigan Wolverines down 14-0. It was 7-0 for a majority of the first half. It looked like it was going to be a one-possession game heading into halftime. And then things just kind of went south for the Wolverines. We saw them get a huge gains on flags and penalties, and they made their way down the field. And then we saw just a rare miss from Dominic Zavada, one of the best kickers in college football. Failed to put 3 up on the board for the Wolverines, and then after that, just the under 3-minute drive from Oklahoma to give themselves another touchdown. John Mateer, the very shifty and quick quarterback, runs it in for the touchdown himself. And I mean, that puts Oklahoma up 14-0.
Yeah, absolutely. John Mateer has been one of college football's best for the past couple of years. And with the transfer here to a big SEC school, he's really had his opportunity to shine. And last week the notion was, hey, maybe he's playing an FCS school. Maybe that's kind of like stat padding. Maybe he's not as good as people are saying. But here against Michigan, historically with a very good defensive scheme with Coach Martindale, they've been able. John Mateer has been able to show off in this first half with 12 for 18 with 160 yards and a touchdown in the air. He also has 1 on the ground. And Michigan kind of felt like worst case coming down that they would go into this half up down 7-3, only 4-point difference. Ends up being 14 as, like you said, Dom Savada misses the field goal, and Oklahoma is able to march right down the field and score. Puts Michigan in quite the hole for the second half.
Yeah, and so as we conclude the first half, Michigan down 14-0. We'll take a quick break here in Oklahoma, and we'll be back for more coverage of Michigan versus Oklahoma football soon.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit at halftime. Sydney will come on, and then her and Ethan will take over the second half. But from me and James, that's all we have for you for now. Any last words before we close out the first half?
Not super great for Michigan so far, but still great to be here. Great to be here in Norman with you, Jaden, and Ethan.
Yeah, great to be here with you too.
Yes, and Ethan and
it was
Sydney.
Fun.
Yes, we'll do a great job in the second half. Really looking forward to hear their call of it. If you're listening with us, please don't go anywhere.
No, please don't.
The ABC broadcast with Kirk Herbstreit probably isn't as good as WCBN. And the marching band takes the field here as we send it over to Ethan and Sydney for the second half.
stretch the limits of the body and the definition of what's possible. There's only one Oklahoma.
Ready to learn the science behind the game? Learn more about upcoming events at DavonSportsLab.com.
Today, Section 33 tailgate was chosen as this week's Bryce Tailgater of the Week. And have a pregame party prepared to run with only pregame essentials for crowd, premium lunch meats, and other craft products that you can pick up from your local Fresh Market.
Keep your head in the game. If you drink during the game, have a ride ready for after the game. Alcohol sales will end at the conclusion of the third quarter. Remember, never drink and drive. A message from the NDUI and the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office.
And the University of Oklahoma and Southeastern Conference had zero tolerance policies regarding fan field intrusions and throwing debris on the field. The SEC will issue member schools a $500,000 fine for violating the field intrusion policy at any point, including posted, and a $250,000 fine for throwing debris on the field. Violations of these policies can also result in prosecution. The athletics department is an adult fans to act responsibly. And the first half stats are presented by Convenience Coffee. Taste the difference, family place.
Hello and welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Alongside Sydney Cyprian, I'm Ethan Sommers, and we welcome you to the second half of Michigan and Oklahoma. Oklahoma leads this one 14-0 at the break. A touchdown on the first drive of the half and a touchdown on the last drive of the half for Oklahoma. It's nothing on the scoreboard for the Wolverines. A missed field goal from Dominic Zavada later in the second quarter. Sydney, what did you see from the first half? What needs to change in the second half for the Wolverines?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma has a very classic defensive strategy. Their secondaries are actually some of the best on their defense. They're really good with passing defense. And so I think Michigan came in expecting that and expecting to do a lot more running plays. But I honestly think that they could rely on Bryce Underwood's arm more. We have 76 passing yards for Bryce Underwood and 160 for the Sooners. And that's like a big difference, having two quarterbacks who are known for their arm. So Michigan really coming into this half, if they really want to come out on the end and really get some of those yardage that they're looking for, they really need to rely on Bryce Underwood's arm or, you know, have him run. We haven't seen him run really. We had him run once during this game, and it was really successful for them. So I think relying on his strengths, and I know Wolverines are a running school, but try out passing a little bit maybe, and things could probably change.
Michigan struggled to move the ball on offense all half long. The run game was uncharacteristically not being efficient for the Wolverines. But on the defensive side, Michigan gains one of their best players at the linebacker position, Jashawn Barham, who was suspended for the first half of this game due to a targeting call against New Mexico last week. How important is it for this Wolverine defense to get a guy like Barham back?
Yeah, I would say like more recently, and especially in this season, the Wolverines have been really, really strong in their linebacker room. I mean, they have their third starter, Jimmy Rolder, who has filled in for Jayshawn Barham in this first half. And yes, he has held his own, but Jayshawn Barham is just a beast in his own, and he can take down QBs, have a couple of sacks, and he was a big loss for the Wolverines not having him in this first half. And him and Ernest Hausman, I would say, are some of the best defensemen that Michigan has right now. And Ernest Hausman has held his own with a couple of solo tackles himself, but having two of your best linemen or your best linebackers back in the game is going to be crucial for the Wolverines. Again, another person that they were missing is Marlon Klein. He's out there, he's dressed, but we didn't really see him warm up that much, and he hasn't been playing. And he had one of the best touchdowns for Michigan in their New Mexico game, and that's probably part of the reason why they can't really get anything happen either, because they have one of the playmakers on the offensive side on the sideline right now.
We are just about 3.5 minutes away from kickoff here for the second half. It will be Michigan ball to start, and a very important drive upcoming for the Wolverines. Almost feels like they need to get something on the board here.
Yeah, they've had several opportunities to do so. Like you said, Dominic Zavada missing his field goal just slightly to the left, and it's very uncharacteristic of him. In his time at Michigan, he's only missed one field goal, and it was from a block. You know, the linemen letting one of the other players through to block his field goal attempt. So it had nothing to do with his kick. This one had to do with his kick. And so that's very uncharacteristic of Zavada, but he can make a 65-yard field goal. And so I think Wolverines just need to let him shake it off and try again. But I know Sharon Moore likes to rely on his specialist a lot, and I don't really see him go for the fourth down very often. Last game there was no fourth down, so maybe be a little bit more aggressive in that fourth down territory, especially when they're getting closer to their end zone.
It was 4th and 2 at the time. Michigan was trailing 7-0. They elected to go for what was definitely in field goal range for Dominic Zavada. He has been rock solid for them all year last year and into this year. Even during warm-ups, you rarely see him miss a kick. And that was just, you know, kickers can't be perfect. I'm sure he wants that one back. I'm sure Sharon Moore would have liked to go for it if he knew his kicker wasn't going to throw one through the uprights there. But nonetheless,
I mean, it's a different environment down here. It was loud, very, very loud, and probably just, you know, got a little nervous on that kick. It was only slightly off, too. A couple more inches to the right, and it would have made it into the field goal.
Michigan's attitude has not wavered, though, despite trailing 14-0. A lot of emotion and energy on the sideline, jumping up and down with this Oklahoma crowd, something that you've seen from past Michigan teams while being on the road in tough atmospheres. They love to embrace being an away underdog, being in a tough atmosphere. They will need a lot to come back, especially on the road, especially here in Norman, Oklahoma, in front of 90+ thousand fans.
Yeah, they practice with loud music and sometimes even loud crowd noise at their practices so that when they get an environment like this, they're prepared. You can see them on the field. They're jumping up and down. They're getting pumped from the boos that they're getting from the Oklahoma Sooners crowd. It fuels them, and they need to use that fuel and put it forward into the next game. Oklahoma's doing great. The only thing I think they need to work on is just cleaning up some of those unnecessary flags. They had that roughing the kicker called on them when they tackled Hudson Hollaback when he was punting and in punting formation. So just cleaning up some of those unnecessary flags, and it's smooth sailing for the Sooners.
It'll be Andrew Marsh deep for the Wolverines.
I kind of want Andrew Marsh to take it if he can. I mean, their last game against New Mexico, he did drop a kick return, and it was recovered by the Lobos, but he's a really, really fast wide receiver. He's really solid. Donovan McCauley before the game said that it was just jitters, and hopefully in this game he won't have any jitters, but I kind of want to see him take it. He's super fast, and he's a great wide receiver, so obviously he can take it down the field if he wants to.
Tate Sandell, the kicker for the Sooners. And we are just moments away from second half action. And the kick is underway. Up and over the head of Andrew Marsh. It'll go into the end zone for a touchback, and the Wolverines will take possession. Bryce Underwood yet to lead his offense to points thus far. Has made some impressive throws, has shown his talent, has definitely not disappointed in this game. No turnovers, but a very important possession for this Michigan offense coming out of the half. We'll see what they have cooked up.
Justice Haynes right beside him. I know they used Justice Haynes a lot during this game already and tried Jordan Marshall out, but went right back to Justin Haynes.
Underwood in the shotgun. Haynes next to him. Hands it off to Haynes. Haynes breaks it free. He's in the open. No one near him. Foot race to the end zone. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Michigan on the first play of the second half. Are you kidding?
Justice Haynes with the touchdown. What a touchdown. I know they were trying to use him a lot in the beginning of the game. Nothing really could happen. He got a couple of bursts, but this is the one he needed. He's truly really good at finding those pockets and outdoing some of those tackles. I mean, in the first half of the game, he avoided 2 tackles and then got tackled by the third, but able to have a big burst there. This one completely had free wind of the field and took it.
Zavada drills the extra point, and on one play, Justice Haynes breaks a run to the left for 75 yards and a Michigan touchdown. It's 14-7, and just like that, the Wolverines are back within 1 score.
The Sooners knew that that was a touchdown as soon as he took the ball. You hear the boos as he's running across the field. I mean, it's Michigan's back in the game, and I'm not sure what they said in the locker room, but obviously it's working right now.
Just 11 seconds have ticked off the clock here in this second half. 14:49 to go in the third quarter. 14-7 Sooners. But Michigan with all the momentum now. It'll be Jaden Knott deep for the Sooners.
I believe that's Beckham Sunderland taking the kickoff.
Kick is up, and it is through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now John Mateer will lead the Oklahoma offense back on the field. He scored on his own with his legs on the last OU possession to end the first half. His stat line from the first half, 12 for 18. 160 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Also 9 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown on the ground for the standout transfer from Washington State. They love him here in Norman now, though. See Jay-Sean Barham, the middle linebacker. Mateer in the shotgun. Nobody back there with him. Takes the snap. Now throws right, caught, and dragged down after a gain of about 4.
Yeah, you can already see the effects of Barham back in the game. I mean, that already back in the game, first play was assisted tackle with Ernest Hausman, the two linebackers.
Oklahoma moves quick. Mateer takes off to his right and goes down, nowhere to go. Taken down by TJ Guy.
Yeah, I think assisted also by Trey Pierce, who has been quite the addition to the Michigan D-line.
It's 3rd and 8 at their own 27. Mateer in the shotgun. Jaden Ott to his left. 2 receivers on either side of him. Play clock down to 8. Takes the snap, drops back. Michigan brings pressure. That ball batted in the air. No whistle yet. Now they'll blow it dead. And that's an incompletion. It was Derek Moore who got to the quarterback first and got his hand on that ball, but there were 3 Wolverines running free at him. And that's a 3 and out. Michigan gets off the field quickly, and Oklahoma will bring the punt team out there. And if there wasn't momentum after that 75-yard touchdown, Michigan now gets the ball back. Down a score, 13:45 to go in the 3rd.
Derek Moore voted one of the captains for the Wolverines, and he has stepped up this year. You can see just with a lot of the production he's making.
Punt is up, takes a bounce.
Joe Taylor with that reception there.
Taylor falls on it, and Michigan will go to work. Ball spotted at their own 26-yard line.
It's very obvious that the defense especially went into the locker room, the Michigan defense, and they were told to wake up. I mean, that's what happened, and they have their OG starters back out there now. Derek Moore, Trey Pierce, TJ Guy, Jayshon Barham, Ernest Hausman, and it just seems like they're meshing really well again. Whereas in the first half, they had a lot of different combinations of people. They used Jayshon Barham as an edge in that play. He kind of goes back and forth between linebacker and edge, and it obviously worked out very well because Derek Moore was able to get in there and just bat the ball away.
It's a TV timeout now. 13:36 to go in the 3rd quarter. All positives for Michigan coming out of halftime after an all-negative first half. They score on one play from Justice Haynes, going 75 yards to the house, and then a 3 and out forced by the Wolverine defense. And now Bryce Underwood looks to have another productive drive here for the Wolverines. Potential to tie this game up out of nowhere, as night has fallen here in Norman, Oklahoma.
Speaking of night, it is their 83rd night game. And the Wolverines tend to do well at night games. I mean, in the past 20 night games, they've won 18 of them. So they've only lost 2 night games. One of them I had the pleasure of calling last year against Indiana. But the Wolverines came out of that locker room and said, we're not losing this one. And so the game, it's close. It's close, and they're going to keep it that way.
This game's so pivotal for both teams, Oklahoma and Michigan. Neither team had the year they hoped for last season. Both teams looking to bounce back here in 2025.
And both teams getting a great quarterback, both of them. You have John Mateer for the Oklahoma Sooners, who came with their new OC coach, Ben Arbuckle. And I heard that Ben Arbuckle, he plans out John Mateer's day to the second and to the minute, that he plans out when he naps and when he gets to go on his phone and what time he gets to eat. And he likes it that way. It keeps him in the game, is what he said. That's crazy. I don't think I'd want somebody to plan my day out like that.
The Michigan offense back on the field. Underwood in the shotgun. It's Haynes to his right. 2 receivers to Underwood's right. Offense gets set. Smaj Morgan goes in motion. Now travels back to the left side. Underwood takes the snap, hands it off, and nowhere to go. Taken down for a loss is Justice Haynes. It was Marvin Jones Jr. getting in the backfield for Oklahoma, and it's second down and 12 at Michigan's own 24.
Yeah, Jones Jr. from FSU. He played in 9 games, and in those 9 games had 25 tackles. 25 tackles in 9 games is a crazy stat, guys.
Crowd is loud here in Norman. Underwood in the pistol. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, now rolls right. Looking deep. He fires just long of the open receiver. He had Zach Marshall deep down the field. Couldn't find him, just overthrew him, and now it'll be 3rd and 12. Michigan backed up deep.
Zach Marshall filling in for Marlon Klein there. The pass did go wide, and I'd put that on Bryce Underwood, but Marshall was open, and I like to see it. I like to see them opening up a little bit more because they've kept it really close.
Underwood in the shotgun. It's Haynes to his left, now moves over to his right. 2 receivers on either side, takes the snap, drops back to throw. It's a screen pass to Haynes to his right. And not much there if he got back to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and 13 and a 3 and out by the Michigan offense. They'll punt it back to Oklahoma. 12:35 to go and ticking in the 3rd quarter.
We had David Stone on that tackle. You know, Justice Haynes tried to find the pocket. He found it, but David Stone was waiting right there for him.
Hollenbeck will punt. It's caught at about the 42. Trying to return it is Isaiah Satanga.
A short punt there for Michigan. Leaves them near the 50-yard line.
Only a 36-yard punt. And now Oklahoma will go to work at their own 49. So just before midfield, there's 12:07 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Oklahoma leads 14-7, and they only have to go half the length of the field.
Kind of a similar offensive drive there for Michigan that we saw with Oklahoma previously. A very short three and done, and then having to go to their punters. Hudson Hollenbeck with that short punt there. He got tackled in the first half with a roughing the kicker called on it, though. He's been doing a lot for cancer research and for his mom who died from lung cancer, and he has a link in his bio for donations to stop the stigma of lung cancer. A lot of people think that you get lung cancer from smoking, and that's why he plays, and a lot of what he does on the field is for his mom and stopping the stigma against lung cancer. So he's been doing a lot of good work past just football.
TV timeout. About a minute and 40 seconds from coming to an end here. Total yards on the game so far, Oklahoma with 223, Michigan with 191. 164 passing yards for the Sooners, 59 rushing yards. For Michigan, it's 77 passing yards, 114 rushing yards. Most of those 114 rushing yards coming on the 75-yard touchdown to open up the second half.
Definitely.
The run game has not been very effective outside of that play.
Yeah, we still have 77 yards of passing for the Wolverines compared to the 164 for the Sooners. Definitely something I want to see more of, some more completion in passing.
Here we go. The Oklahoma offense taking the field. It's Mateer in the shotgun. Jaden Ott to his right. Three receivers bunched on the right side of the field. Ball on the left hash mark. Satanga goes in motion to the left side. Michigan brings pressure, hands it off to Ott. Ott escapes on the left side, now gets forced out of bounds after a gain of just about 2. Ott went crashing into the Michigan sideline. And 2nd and 8 now at the Michigan 49.
Yeah, Ott now being used as a running back. Against Illinois State, they didn't really use him as a running back and rather just a punt return, but he was one of the #1 running backs in the transfer portal, along with John Mateer as the #1 QB in the transfer portal.
Mateer takes the snap, fakes the handoff, now throws over the middle, almost intercepted, batted in the air, and dropped by Jair Hill. Hill almost had 2 chances to make the interception on that one. Ball was intended for Isaiah Satanga. Hill read it the whole way. Almost caught it on the first try, batted it up in the air, and it fell right back into his arms. A great play by Satanga to force the drop there on the interception. Satanga playing defense there almost, and now 3rd and 8. Mateer in the shotgun. Bunch on the right side for Oklahoma. Mateer takes the snap. Michigan brings pressure and almost gets home. Mateer breaks free, now rolls right, throwing deep and caught by Satanga. Out of bounds inside the 5. What a play by John Mateer, and it's 1st and goal at the 3.
That play would have been fixed easily by a clean tackle, but Cam Brandt came in to John Mateer, attempted a tackle, but just swung right around him, and he was able to collect himself and throw to Satanga on the side of the line, and Satanga went for it. If Cam Brandt tackled correctly, that would have been a sack. But now the play is under further review.
The play is under review. The ruling on the field is a catch and further advancement. Not sure if whether they're reviewing whether it was a catch or if he stepped out of bounds before getting it all the way down to 3. I think it's the latter half. I think the catch is going to stand regardless, and I think they have an out of bounds potentially earlier than the 3-yard line. But John Mateer, no easy target to bring down in the backfield. He led the FBS in missed tackles last year for Washington State with 58 missed tackles. And just a beautiful ball on the run after breaking the sack.
They're trying to figure out if his foot went out of bounds before he was tackled, which would have put them back a couple more yards.
Nothing significant. I think it would be back at the 9 is what I'm seeing.
Hey, but every yard counts.
Oh, I'm actually mistaken. Looks like they're spotting the ball at the Michigan 14, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 14. So that brings it back about 11 yards. So it goes from 1st and goal at the 3 to 1st and 10 at the 14. There's the official call, to the dismay of the Oklahoma fans.
I mean, that gives Michigan a lot more room to work with. It is in field goal range for the Sooners, but 3 points is better than 7. And they also tend to do well in the red zone. So this is where Michigan usually shines. But previously in the game, they were in the red zone, and John Mateer took it through. So they really need to keep their eye on that QB.
A dropped interception and then a missed sack. And now a 1st and 10 at the 14. Missed opportunities by the Michigan defense. Mateer takes the snap from the shotgun, hands it off to Blaylock. And Blaylock will go up the middle for about 4 or 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 at the 10. And now a Michigan player down on the field. Appears to be Zeke Berry.
That would be a huge loss for Michigan if he's taken out of the game. Zeke Berry is one of their best secondaries.
Sherrone Moore going out there to check on his defensive back.
Previously in the first quarter, Zeke was on coverage and the Sooners were able to make a huge throw, but then he responded by having a pass block. So he is a really crucial player for the Wolverines, and having Sherrone Moore walk out to make sure he's okay, obviously something serious here. He's able to get up, but the Sooners are, half of them are cheering and half of them are booing, but he's needing some help walking off the field, and they've had to stop a couple times while they're doing it.
He walks off the field with some assistance.
The defensive back room going over there to make sure he's okay while patting him. With Zeke Berry out, that means they'll probably have to rely on someone like Josiah Edmond.
.10:34 to go here in the third quarter.
They're doing the T-shirt blaster right now. I kind of want them to be able to shoot it all the way up to the press box.
We are way high up here, Cindy. I don't think they're going to be able to reach us. Be impressive, though.
I mean, maybe one of the cheerleaders can make the throw.
They'd have to get her a uniform if so.
That John Mateer would have some competition.
Both teams in their respective huddles. And injury timeout almost over here. And with Zeke Berry, the injured Wolverine.
The play now nearing the red zone and close to a Sooner touchdown. again, I'd have Michigan Wolverines watch Mateer here, because the last time they were in the red zone, he took it himself and was able to get the first touchdown for the Sooners.
Michigan defense back on the field. Mateer in the shotgun. Blaylock to his left. Two tight ends motion from the right side to the left side. Now Blaylock goes to the right side of Mateer. Mateer design quarterback run. Now breaks right. No one there to stop him. And he walks into the end zone. Touchdown OU. And it's 20-7.
That is the second touchdown for John Mateer. Another one from the red zone where he was able to just find the pocket and make his way through. This quarterback is not afraid of getting tackled. He wants to do it himself because he knows he can. He's also got a pair of legs on him. That was fast.
They like running that design quarterback run for him. They've done it many times today as the extra point is up and through the uprights. It's 21-7. We're still early on in this second half, 10-12 to go. I haven't even played 5 minutes, and it already feels like there's a lot has happened compared to the first half.
As on the first drive, we had the Michigan Wolverines, Justice Haynes with a 75-yard touchdown all the way to the end zone. And then in response, the Sooners, John Mateer with his second red zone touchdown where he was able to find that pocket and run through. I mean, the Wolverines defense was trying so hard to get to that man, but his defensive line, or his offensive line, was able to keep them off. A couple of missed attempts there for Michigan as well, with, you know, the missed interception and then the missed sack. They really need to go back to their basics and clean up some of their pretty basic plays. I'll still keep going back to that sack because it could have been a clean tackle, but he just kind of went right around him.
And after some jumping around here, Oklahoma will kick it off. This one going to be returned by Andrew Marsh, and he gets hit hard at his own 16-yard line. So not the best decision there from Marsh. Michigan will be backed up to start this possession. They'll mark it at the 17-yard line.
I believe that was Elijah Thomas there on the tackle. Very hard hit. Something that we're seeing a lot here with the Sooners. When they're hitting hard, and that's why we've seen a lot of the Wolverines down on the field today with some injuries and having to walk off. Zeke Berry, G.O.L. Heidi, a bunch of Wolverines down on the field.
Underwood in the pistol. Only one receiver out there on the field. Michigan going heavy. He fakes the handoff. Now rolls right. Underwood in trouble. Flag thrown on the play as Underwood escapes out of bounds after maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see what the flag is. Will most likely be holding. And that it is. Holding on Brady Norton, the right guard for the Wolverines, and that'll bring Michigan back.
I mean, that might be a call that I'm okay with taking if I was Brady Norton and the Wolverines, because if he had let him go, he would have been right into Bryce Underwood, which that's not what you want to endanger your QB. But again, it's pushing the Wolverines back and preventing them from getting those extra touchdowns that they need in this game. Brady Norton is one of those offensive linemen who had to fight for his position this season and won against Nathan Efobe. So, you know, he's out there for a reason. I probably would have taken that.
1st and 19 at their own 8. Underwood will keep it and nowhere to go. Taken down for a loss of 4. It's Owen Heineke on the tackle for loss. And just like that, it's 2nd and 23 at Michigan's own 4-yard line. The first time we've seen Underwood keep it in tuck and run.
I mean, Owen Heineke read that perfectly. I mean, for a second there, I was even thinking that Bryce had just passed it off, but Owen Heineke was not fooled. He was able to get into that slot that Bryce was about to run into and just slam him down on the ground.
Underwood takes the snap in the shotgun, drops back to throw, and dumps it down, incomplete. He's looking for a check down there, nobody home, and it's 3rd down and 23.
I mean, the Boomer Sooner defensive line is on fire right now. The offensive line of Michigan is having a hard time keeping them back. They're able to get through those pockets just in a matter of seconds, and Bryce Underwood has no idea what to do with it but just flick it towards anybody who's near him.
Underwood in the shotgun. He's got Haynes to his left. Samaj Morgan now motions to the left side. 3 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right. He hands it off, and a conservative play call, gains about 7. And that'll be another 3 and out by the Michigan offense. It's 4th and 16.
I understand why they didn't throw it, because their last few where they tried to let Bryce Underwood drop back and throw it, the defensive linemen of the Sooners were able to get through. But in a play where you have 23 to go and you are near the OU end zone, that might be something where you need to try to just spread it out and throw it.
Punt is up, and it's deep. And it's muffed. Falling on it are the Wolverines. It's Michigan ball.
Joe Taylor with the massive hit for the Wolverines, and Cole Sullivan with the fumble recovery. What a duo for the specialist team right here. Cole Sullivan with a huge hit in the game previous against New Mexico and a couple of sacks himself. I mean, great hit there by Joe Taylor, and Cole Sullivan reacted very fast and dove for that ball. I mean, Michigan is now in great scoring position here. Field goal range.
Isaiah Satanga muffed it on the punt. He tried to catch it low. Off his hands, Michigan recovers, and now 1st and 10 at the Oklahoma 31. Underwood in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. 2 tight ends on the field. Fakes, gives the handoff to Haynes, who runs up the middle for a gain of about 4. 2nd down and 6, 7:50 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Michigan trails 21-7, but after a muffed punt and a recovery by the Wolverines, they're knocking on the door once again.
You know, that was a very classic Michigan play right there. We're close to the end zone, let's just run it. And that's what they're doing right now, but they're spreading out a little bit here in this new formation.
Underwood in the shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks left, fires over the head of Donovan McCulley, incomplete. Had McCulley in a one-on-one situation, threw it just behind him. True freshman Cortland Guillory on the coverage.
That was a great call there, a great play to do. I like to see it, but however, the throw was just a little errant there from Bryce Underwood. Hard for Donovan McCulley to get his hands on it as it was behind him, but that's probably what Michigan needs to do to continue to just move forward.
It's 3rd and 6 at the Oklahoma 27. Underwood in the shotgun. Bredesen in motion, and now a whistle and a timeout, OU. So they'll take their first timeout of the half. First timeout by either team here in this second half.
I always love when Michigan uses their fullbacks with Max Bredesen there, who was running from fullback position then to tight end, but he's really good at what he does, able to block very well and provide some pockets for Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall to just take the ball and run through, especially when they're so close to their end zone. They really need to just settle a little bit, take a deep breath, and figure out a play and execute it.
Both teams will now take the field once again. Oklahoma crowd on their feet and making noise. 3 receivers on the left side of Underwood, who's in the shotgun. Underwood hands off to Justice Haynes up the middle for a gain of about 4 again. They'll call it 3, and that brings up 4th down and 3. So another conservative play call on 3rd and medium. And now the field goal unit will come on. Dominic Zavada, who missed one earlier, he'll take what looks to be a 41-yard field goal from the right hash. He missed from the left hash in his first attempt. Here's the snap, clean holds. It is up, and it is true. So Zavada responds, and with 6:33 to go in the 3rd quarter, Michigan cuts the lead to 11. It's 21-10 OU.
Another conservative call there to lean on Dominic Zavada, but he is usually pretty reliable for the Wolverines. Just that one errant kick in the beginning of the game. But again, I think they probably could have gone for it. It was 4th and 3 with 24 yards to go, I want to say. So I understand Sharon Moore is pretty conservative in that aspect, but in a game like this where you want to just keep getting those touchdowns, maybe getting those extra points and being a little bit more risky could work out for the Wolverines.
Michigan will kick off. It's Jaden Fode, the Cal transfer, deep for OU. .6:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kick is away, and it's short, returnable for Jaden Fode, and he muffs the kick, turns around and picks it up. Now nowhere to go. He's stopped at the 6-yard line. They'll mark it at the 7. So special teams being troublesome for OU. Another muffed catch on a kick. Fode able to pick it up and manages to only get it to the 7. So now Oklahoma backed up deep in their own territory. It's 1st and 10 from their own 7, and John Mateer leads his offense back out there. They scored on their last possession. Mateer running it in himself.
Cole Sullivan there on that tackle. Again, really instrumental for the special teams.
Mateer in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks right and checks it down. And breaking a tackle and getting a 1st down is Jaron Kanik, the tight end. And in one play, they clear out some space for the offense to operate. It's 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Jaron Kanik, the former linebacker, transitioned to tight end this season and has been playing very well at that position so far. Mateer takes the snap, hands it off to Blaylock, who runs up the middle. He gets stopped by Jimmy Rolder. It's a gain of 6, 2nd and 4 at their own 24. Mateer's throw knocked up into the air and incomplete. Everyone kind of holds their breath for a little bit as that ball gets tipped up into the air. But that will bring up 3rd down and 4. So Michigan with the chance to get off the field here. That ball tipped into the air by Jimmy Rolder, who's made an impact on the last 2 plays. Great job there to get in the way of that pass. Now Mateer in the shotgun with Blaylock to his left. Deion Burks, the lone receiver on the right side. 3 receivers in a trips formation on the left. Matier takes the snap, drops back to throw, now tucks it, looks to run, breaking a tackle, but can't get away from all the Wolverines.
Jaden Mangum on that tackle.
And Dominic Nichols also there to help clean it up. Nice job by the Michigan defense to keep Matier in check, and that's 4th down and 6 from the 22. The punt team out for Oklahoma.
So interesting that a safety came in and helped out on a sack.
Samaj Morgan deep for the Wolverines. Punt is up and away, and it's deep. Morgan backtracking for it. Now returns it, catches it at the 17-yard line, now moves across the 20, and he gets taken down at about the 23-yard line.
Evaded a couple of big tackles there, but Samaj Morgan, best punt returner for Michigan, back in his freshman year, I believe, when they were in the Big Ten, going against Iowa. He returned a punt and had one of the biggest runs of his career. I believe it was around 80 yards.
Underwood back in the shotgun for the Michigan offense. They'll get to work at their own 23. Underwood takes the snap, fakes the handoff, now drops back to throw. Looks over the middle, looking deep for Donovan McCulley, goes up to catch it, and he comes down with it. What a grab by Donovan McCulley. Up and over 2 OU defenders. It's 1st down at the Oklahoma 33.
The transfer from Indiana, Donovan McCulley, coming into Michigan in the wide receiver room as a leader. Very vocal about that room. They all look up to him despite the fact that he's a transfer, and that's why, making huge catches like that.
Underwood hands off to Jordan Marshall, who picks up about 3 on the carry. Call it 4. It's 2nd and 6 at the 29, and Underwood, a jump ball to Donovan McCulley, set them up here, and what a grab it was from Michigan's #1 receiver.
44 yards there on that throw, pushing the Wolverines up to 121 passing yards to Oklahoma's 211.
2nd and 6, Underwood in the pistol. Turns around and hands it off, goes back to Jordan Marshall, who picks up another 3 yards or so. That'll set up 3rd down and 3. Third down and 4, they'll call it. And another injury for the Wolverines. It looks like that's Brady Norton who is down, but he'll get up quickly and jog off the field.
Limping a little bit there on his right leg.
Nathan Fode and Lawrence Hatter, typically the backup guards here for this Michigan offensive line, so one of them will probably replace him.
Most likely Fode, since it was the 2 of them who were fighting out for that spot at the beginning of the season. And it wasn't until Bryce Underwood was announced as the QB that they announced that Norton was going to be the starting tackle.
It will be a Fode who's out there. Third down and 3 at the Oklahoma 26. Underwood in the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands it off, and charging forward for a 1st down is Jordan Marshall. So 3 straight carries for Jordan Marshall and a 1st down for Michigan.
I mean, this is why the Wolverine running back is the best that they have. It's because they use the running backs to what they're good at. Jordan Marshall, really good with getting to those 1st downs, and Justice Haynes, really good with those long runs.
1st and 10 at the 22. Underwood fakes the handoff, now drops back to throw, and a miscommunication with Donovan McCulley. McCulley was breaking on an in route. Underwood threw towards the sidelines, and it drifts incomplete. McCulley did get a good break on it. It was open if he threw it on the inside. Luckily, that ball was long out of bounds, or else Cortland Gilroy would have had a read on it to make an interception. 2nd and 10, 2:07 to go in the third quarter. It's 21-10 Oklahoma. Underwood in the shotgun. Takes the snap, now hands off to Jordan Marshall, who charges forward after contact for a gain of about 4. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Another opportunity for the Wolverines. If football had a stat that was similar to baseball, where it was runners in scoring position, and instead it was players in scoring position, the Wolverines wouldn't have a very good stat right now. The amount of times they've had an opportunity and haven't capitalized.
Underwood fakes the end around, now rolls right, throws across his body, and incomplete, intended for Donovan McCulley. That'll bring up 4th down and 6, and the field goal unit coming on the field once again for the Wolverines. This one will be shorter than 41, which was the last one Dominic Zavada hit. This one from dead on, and it'll be a 35-yard field goal. This would cut the lead to 8. Fans on their feet. Zavada takes the snap, clean hold, kick is up, and it is good from Zavada. 21-13 now. Michigan trails by 8, and a 1-possession game once again.
Decent play call there by the Wolverines, trying to get a shorter pass to Donovan McCulley. But in that instance, if I was Bryce Underwood, I would have seen that Donovan McCulley wasn't going to get that, and I would have taken it myself, because Bryce Underwood had a pocket to run through, probably gain those 6 yards that they needed. But if you know the Wolverines, you know that their kicker can win the game for them. Back in the day when Jake Moody was their kicker in a game against Illinois, he scored all the points on the board for the Wolverines, and they won the game. So it has been done before, but it's not ideal to rely on your specialists to win the game for you.
Michigan will kick off after 2 straight possessions of getting 3 points. That last drive was set up by a deep ball from Bryce Underwood connecting with Donovan McCulley on a 44-yard completion. One more first down after that got the Wolverines into good field goal position, and it's 21-13. Kick is underway here, and with 1:24 to go, this one will be fair caught by Jaden Ott at the goal line, so a touchback. Nearing the end of the third quarter, this one's tight.
Only an 8-point difference between the Wolverines and the Sooners. Was 14 when we entered the half, but the Wolverines came back. Still could capitalize a little bit more on the opportunities they've had, but 13 points is better than 0.
Mateer alone in the shotgun, empty formation. Design run, he'll tuck in and go. Cuts left and gets taken down from behind by TJ Guy. Gain of about 5.
Mason Curtis coming in on that, almost sacking John Mateer, but we had Jaron Kanik. No, so sorry. Wrong side of the ball.
Mateer in the shotgun. Blaylock to his right, 3 receivers to his left. Troy Blaylock, a true freshman who they have loved ever since he stepped foot on campus and is getting significant minutes. They'll hand it off to him now. He cuts left and met by 3 Wolverines, one of them being Jayshawn Barham.
It's that linebacker duo, Jayshawn Barham, Ernest Houseman, and then Trey Pierce, all on the assisted tackle there.
Houseman got a good hit on him there, and it's 3rd down and 3, 15 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if they take another snap. They don't have to. And it looks like they will probably let this clock run for the 4th quarter. And all zeros now, so it'll be 3rd down and 3 to start the 4th quarter. And a big 3rd down it will be. Oklahoma leads this one 21-13 heading into the 4th. They'll have 3rd and 3 at their own 32. An opportunity for this Michigan team to get off the field here and get their offense back in possession. Fireworks going off here as we as student radio will get to see the end of 3rd quarter traditions here in Norman.
Pretty similar to the Wolverines light show and Mr. Brightside, but done the Southern way.
Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
Fireworks going off, flashlights going up and down in the crowd. It is a magnificent sight here.
The horse-drawn wagon running out onto the field. I will say, the stadium's a lot louder when Mr. Brightside is playing, but still just as cool with the light show going on.
I will say I have thoroughly enjoyed experiencing what a game day is like down here.
OU Boomer Sooner tradition is unlike any other.
This song's familiar.
Pump it up.
And the Michigan sideline knows it's familiar. They're getting hype and ready for this 4th quarter. And they can taste that they're right back in this game, especially with the huge 3rd down coming up.
The entire Michigan team is jumping up and down, trying to get some more energy, feel themselves. I mean, that's one of the best pieces of advice I learned when I played sports was if you're not having fun, what's the point in the game? That is the boom of the musket that has been going off in the entire game. It has scared me every time.
Every time. I still jump. We'll see.
I will say, coming from a creative video person myself, the video board videos have been top tier at tonight's game. As we get back into the game.
Here we go, 3rd and 3. Mateer takes the snap. It's a designed run for him, and he'll pick up the 1st down easily.
Taken down by Jayshawn Barham.
First down at their own 43. Matier takes the snap, now throws left, screen pass designed for Kanik, who picks up a first down and then a little bit more, a gain of about 14. 1st and 10 now in Michigan territory, and Oklahoma driving. Matier in the empty once again. Design run once again. He'll take off, leaps up into the air, and gets hit hard by Derek Moore, but not before picking up a gain of 4.
The Sooners working fast here. They try to confuse the Michigan defense by spreading out the line, only for John Matier to take the ball himself.
2nd and 7 at the 40. In Michigan territory is the OU offense. Matier in the shotgun. He's got Blaylock to his right. Matier takes the snap, drops back to throw. Looking left, now throws behind the intended receiver. He had Deion Burks on a check down, running a drag route from right to left, and threw it behind him. A rare miss on a pretty easy throw from John Matier. And instead it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
The Sooner fans looking for a call there as TJ Guy hit Burks after the play.
Matier in the shotgun. He's got Javante Barnes to his left. 2 receivers on either side. Michigan shows pressure, and they bring it. Matier dropping back to throw, floats one over the top for Barnes, who has no one on him. He picks up a first down and a lot more out of bounds at the Michigan 23.
What Matier does really well is getting the ball out of his hands as fast as he can. I mean, the Michigan defense was there and was about to come at him with a sack, and then he was able to release the ball and make a play pretty fast.
Michigan brought pressure, and that left no one to guard the running back out of the backfield. Javante Barnes on the throw. Picks up a gain of about 20. Now Matier turns around, hands it off. A flea flicker back to Matier. He's got a man wide open in the end zone, but incomplete off the hands of Jaron Kanik. Oklahoma trying some trickery. It was a handoff to an end around, back to a flea flicker to Matier, and just through the outstretched hands of Jaron Kanik.
Great pressure there by the Michigan defense, forcing him to yeet the ball into the end zone as fast as he could.
Matier in the shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Michigan brings pressure. Matier breaks the sack once again and fires this one out of bounds and out of play. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10 at the 24.
Another missed sack there by Mason Curtis, similar to Cam Brandt's earlier in the game, where he just wraps around him but is unable to bring him down with a classic and routine tackle.
Matier in the shotgun. It's 3rd and 10 at the 24. Javante Barnes to his right. 3 receivers out on the left. Deion Burks, the lone receiver, on the right side. Michigan bringing pressure once again. Matier rolling out to his right under pressure and throws this one away. And a stop by the Wolverine defense, and the field goal unit coming out for Oklahoma. Try and get those 3 points back that Michigan got on their last possession and bring the lead back to 11. It'll be a 42-yard field goal for Tate Sandell, who is 20 for 25 on field goal attempts. His career long's 54, so this in range. Snap, hold, kick is up, and no good. So he misses the kick. I don't think the fireworks workers here in Oklahoma knew he missed it because they set off fireworks. Kick is no good. Score remains 21-13, and it's Michigan ball. They'll go to work.
Yeah, that kick, he came across himself a little too much, and it kind of just went to the right a little bit there. But great pressure by the Michigan edges, keeping the Boomer Sooners to a field goal attempt. Both Derek Moore, Cam Brandt on that last pressure, and then Mason Curtis as a safety coming in and attempting to sack John Mateer. The pressure has been good for Michigan, but they really need to work on completing those tackles because you can't have 2 attempted sacks and none of them work out.
TV timeout here in Norman. And Michigan with the chance. Down 1 score. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this one up. But there's still plenty of time. 12:32 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, score by quarter. We have the Boomer Sooners with 7 in the first, 7 in the second, 7 in the third, points-wise, and the Wolverines getting all of their points, all 13 of them, in the third. So the Sooners are a little bit more consistent throughout each quarter, and the Wolverines picking up the energy towards the end of the game here.
The Michigan offense will go to work at their own 24.
Michigan surpassing Oklahoma with rushing yards, but Oklahoma keeping the lead with passing yards.
And both teams take the field now. The Oklahoma sideline trying to hype this crowd up and get them loud for this Michigan offense. Underwood in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers on either side of him. I believe Jordan Marshall on his left. Oklahoma showing pressure. And bringing it. Underwood drops back to throw, now takes off, he'll tuck and run. Breaks free of 1 tackler and finally taken down, but a gain of about 9. And Sydney, we haven't seen Bryce Underwood use his legs very often. We've been waiting for it. If you've watched his high school tape, he definitely can run the ball. And there shows a little bit of it. Gains 9, and it's 2nd and 1 at the 33.
I mean, he's shown that he can take it, too. I know you don't want to endanger your quarterback with the tackles, but he had an insane block in the New Mexico game and is not afraid to get tackled. He's added on that weight so that if he gets hit, it doesn't hurt as much.
Underwood takes the snap, but the play is blown dead. It'll be a timeout, Michigan. So Sherrell Moore clearly didn't like something going on there pre-snap and takes the first timeout of the half here with 11:53 to go in the 4th quarter.
Very lucky for Michigan there because that throw was meant for Zach Marshall and he was unable to make the catch. So the play does not count.
And once again, another TV timeout. So we'll take about a 3-minute break here before we see any more football action. But 2nd and 1 at Michigan's own 33. 11:53 to go here in the 4th quarter. A very important drive here for the Wolverines.
Other than the Justice Haynes run, that might have been one of the biggest runs Michigan has had this game, and it came from Bryce Underwood. And we were talking coming into this half about how we wanted to see him run a little bit more because he can. And I think they should lean in a little bit more to his strengths, which is his arm and his legs.
It's not a surprise that Underwood can use his legs. I mean, he's a huge frame, 6'4", 208 pounds, and we didn't see him use his legs last week or much in this game, but if you haven't watched his high school tape, if you haven't watched his high school highlights, first of all, go watch them. They're impressive.
They're
Second
insane.
of all, most of them, I mean, they give him the ball and let him run, and no one can touch him. He's used his legs all throughout high school, was a very effective runner, just as effective as he was as a passer, and yet to really show that so far in the winged helmet.
I mean, coming into this game, I was thinking about how similar John Mateer and Bryce Underwood were, especially for how much their team relies on them. Both really good with their arms, really good with their legs, and one of the main differences here in this game is the Sooners were using John Mateer and his legs. 2 of those touchdowns came from him just taking the ball and running it himself, and that's not something that the Wolverines were allowing Bryce Underwood to do at all during the game. And maybe if they did, you'd see some similar turnouts to Michigan as you're seeing with the Sooners.
It's crunch time here in Norman.
Brady Norton back on the field after getting injured in one of the last plays.
Both teams take the field once again. This OU sideline looking to get the crowd loud once again, and loud they are. Michigan breaks the huddle. McCulley sprints out to the left. Goodwin to the right. In the pistol is Underwood. Turns around and hands it off. And a first down on the carry. Justice Haynes, the ball carrier. And it's a 1st and 10 for Michigan at their own 37. So a gain of about 4 there.
Very tight huddle here.
Trying
Looks
to be
like
able to
they're
hear each other.
really trying to get something happening here.
Underwood in the pistol once again. It's Haynes behind him. Goodwin in motion. Underwood fakes the handoff, now steps up in the pocket and goes down. It's a sack. Jaden Jackson, the one that got to Underwood first.
I mean, that wasn't a really big pocket for him to try to run through, but he turned around to fake the pass off, only to turn back around and see that he was being rushed by the Sooner defensive line, and he was forced to run with it and ran right into the tackle.
Now 2nd and 15 at their own 32. Underwood breaks the huddle, lines up in the shotgun. Haynes to his right. And a flag gets thrown. And instead of a flag, it'll be a timeout by the Wolverines. That's their second. It's only 1 remaining here in the 4th quarter, and that timeout could be valuable.
I mean, exactly. I think they really need to look at their playbook and see what they haven't done. It's a lot of the similar plays that they're making are just being read right through by Oklahoma, but they really do need to just try something new here. See what happens. That's all you can do.
Attendance here today, 84,107. It's allowed 84,000.
It is allowed 84,000. Almost as if we were in the big house with 110,000. That's how loud these Sooner fans are. They're also all still here, despite it being the fourth quarter with 10 minutes left.
Michigan backed up, 2nd and 15 coming up.
Again, they're probably going to have to go with a passing offensive play here or try some trick play. Honestly, at this point in the game, might as well try something new.
.28 to go in the fourth quarter. Both teams taking the field once again. 2nd and 15. This crowd is loud here. It's Underwood in the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side. Justice Haynes to his left. Underwood takes the snap, fires under pressure, and too high for Channing Goodwin. Had 2 OU defenders right in his grill, getting that pass off. And it hit off the hands. Looked like he had Zach Marshall wide open down the sideline there. Just didn't see him. 10:23 to go, 3rd and 15 at their own 32. Underwood gonna need to make a play here in the shotgun. Trips to his left. Takes the snap, drops back to throw. OU sends 5. That pass batted down at the line of scrimmage and incomplete, and Michigan will be forced to punt. And they'll have to trust their defense to get off the field once again.
I mean, this drive was crucial for the Wolverines to get a touchdown. 8 points away from tying the game, and only 10 minutes left in this quarter.
Punt is up and away, and fair caught at about the 18-yard line by Satanga. 10:11 to go in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma leads 21-13.
Oklahoma going to need to get another touchdown to secure the win here, and the Michigan Wolverines are going to have to block them off right here without getting into field goal range, and then their offense is going to have to make something happen if they want to make this game.
Matier in the shotgun. Moves a man in motion. Now he'll tuck it and run. Another design run for Matier, and he's got space down the right side. Gets a first down, breaks a tackle, still moving. Picks up a gain of about 20 down at the 38-yard line, and it's 1st and 10 Oklahoma.
John Matier is a hard person to sack. Jaden Mangum trying to sack him in on that play, unable to make the tackle. That's the 3rd time that a Michigan defenseman has tried to tackle John Matier and missed the sack opportunity.
Matier in the shotgun. Now we'll hand it off to Blaylock, who gets swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play.
The Sooner offense does a really good job at distracting the Michigan defense over to a certain area, only for whoever has the ball to then go around into the gap and make the big runs. It's all about patience and timing, and they just have that down.
Loss of about a half a yard there on that play, so 2nd down and 10 still technically. Matier in the empty. Takes the snap, now drops back to throw. Michigan sends 4. Barham gets free, now tracking him down. Hit as he throws, and it's complete to Jaron Kanik. Matier has been so good under pressure all night long, and once again there finds Jaron Kanik as Jayshawn Barham was dragging him down. It looked like the Michigan secondary just lost him there. Quick throw out to the left to Keontez Lewis. And it's another 1st down for Oklahoma. They're in Michigan territory.
That's one of those things that you have to just follow through with the tackle. Jayshawn Barham was there, hesitated a little bit because he thought that John Matier had already thrown the ball, and then realized that he could get the tackle and then went after him, but gave him too much time to be able to make that throw. And maybe he's just a little bit shy of it because he had a targeting call in the last game, but just has to follow through.
Jet touch pass to Satanga, and he picks up about 8. It's 2nd and 2 at the 38-yard line in Michigan territory. And with the clock winding down here in the 4th quarter, 7:20 and ticking, Michigan can ill afford to let Oklahoma add on to this 8-point lead and bring it to 2 possessions, especially with only 1 timeout now. Hand off to Blaylock, and he's got nowhere to go. We'll see if they give him the spot for the 1st down, and it looks like they'll spot him short of the line to gain. 3rd down and 1 coming.
It's crucial for the Wolverines to stop them here because any more yardage and they're in field goal range. I mean, they probably could still make a field goal from this point, but they can't make it easier for them.
It was a miss from 42 in their last possession. Matier lines up the Oklahoma offense in the I formation. 1 receiver out to the right. Heavy set for OU. It's a handoff up the middle, and they'll spot him across the line to gain. It's a 1st down for Oklahoma. And it's 1st and 10 at the 35 now. And we are at the 6-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Michigan with their backs against the wall here.
Javonte Barnes on that run. Missed the last 4 games last season due to an ankle injury, and then came back last game, his 1st game back, and just standout player.
Hand off to Barnes once again, and he breaks free. Gets to the second level and is tackled after a gain of 9.
What's working for the Oklahoma Sooners right now is how fast they're able to execute their plays. The Wolverines just seem a little slow to catching on. I mean, Barnes was able to just find that pocket, run through it, and Cole Sullivan was there to try to get that catch. He was pinned up a little bit, but then didn't notice that Barnes was running right by him.
2nd and 1 at the 26. Mateer in the empty formation. Look for a design run here, and that it is. He takes off, running right, now steps back, trying to find a first down, and moves forward for a first down. He is shifty with the ball. That Mateer's 17th carry of the game. He's got 76 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That on top of his 257 passing yards. He has shown his talent tonight. Takes the snap, handoff right to Barnes, and Barnes swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage by Jayshawn Barham. But we are at 4 minutes to go. Michigan will need nothing short of a miracle now.
Definitely in field goal range here, but we did see a missed field goal attempt from both teams. So I know the Sooners are probably trying for the touchdown right now.
2nd and 11 from the 25. Would be a similar distance field goal right now than what they missed on their last possession. Empty for Mateer. He fires right, finds an open receiver. It's Deion Burks, and he's dragged down, but not before gaining about 9, and it's 3rd and 2 at the 16.
Deion Burks on fire this game as a receiver for the Sooners. 1 touchdown and 101 yards. The Sooners have 405, so at least a fourth of the yards due to Deion Burks.
Mateer takes the snap. Design run, and he goes down. Flag gets thrown. They're going to call a face mask. That was pretty clear there. Mateer got dragged down by his face mask. Michigan had stopped him. It would have been 4th down.
I mean, it looked like they were on the route to stop him. That's the last thing Michigan needed, was to grab onto that face mask, because they were there. They were able to get him. And just a messy play right there. That, if you're looking to get 8 points, last thing you need is a silly flag like that. Trey Williams, the one to grab the face mask.
Yeah, and that one was obvious. Easy call. And all that means is that Oklahoma will be able to eat up more and more clock here. 2:48 and ticking. 1st and goal at the 8. They'll hand it off up the middle for Javante Barnes, and it's a gain of 2. 2nd and goal at the 6, and now 2:30 to go. Play clock 1 under the game clock, so they will have to snap 1 more play before the 2-minute warning.
They just seem to be running it up the middle, wasting some time on the clock here, while also gaining just a couple yards at a time.
Mateer in the shotgun, takes the snap now, and it's a design run for him, and he gets swallowed up by a slew of Wolverines. Ernest Hausman, the first one there. And that's the 2-minute warning with 1:55 to go. It's 3rd down and about 5 or 6. We'll say 3rd down and 7. And John Mateer hyping up this Oklahoma crowd and make him feel it now. What looks like will be a huge win for this Oklahoma program, looking to get back on track to what they expect their program to be at this game could very well be pivotal to teams being in or out of the 12-team playoff when we get there in December.
And that's all thanks to their quarterback, John Mateer, making some huge plays this game. 2 of the touchdowns have been dedicated to him, taking it himself across the line in the red zone. I mean, the Wolverines, if they really want to make something happen here, they really can't let their spirits die. I can see a little bit on the sideline, heads are down, but they really just need to do what they do best and make a miracle happen. But the Sooners, they're doing a really good job at trying to secure their win right now.
This is a really good Oklahoma team. They've shown it. This defense is quick. They're all over the ball. John Mateer is an absolute stud at quarterback. I mean, this is a guy who sat behind Cam Ward for 2 years, who ended up being the first overall pick in the draft. Although he's at a new school, he's in the same offense he's used to with the same offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, who both came together to Oklahoma from Washington State. This is a good football team, and for Michigan, assuming a loss here, the season is not over. They've plenty of football ahead, their entire Big Ten schedule, and they avoid playing a lot of the teams that are ranked high in the Big Ten this year, including Illinois, who got a big win today against Duke, Penn State, Oregon. They don't have to play any of those teams. Of course, they've got a big one on the road. They'll have to get over their away woes as they play Nebraska in just a couple weeks to start their Big Ten schedule.
Central Michigan next week at the Big House. I mean, it is hard going down to the SEC for your second game being away in the SEC, especially with such a new team. You have a true freshman quarterback. You have a lot of guys on the team who had transitioned from special teams or scout team to then starting. Many of the guys only starting less than 10 games as a Michigan Wolverine, and all of a sudden this season now starting in their position group. I mean, there's no excuses either. You need to be ready, especially if you're deep in the depth chart. They can pull you whenever, but it is hard coming down. Second game you're starting, being in the SEC with a crowd like the Oklahoma Sooners. All props to John Mateer.
This will most likely be Michigan's toughest away game this year, as they play Ohio State at home this year. There are other road games that will be challenging, or at Nebraska in a few weeks, at USC. They travel and play on the road against Northwestern and Maryland as well. Mateer takes the snap in the shotgun, now throws left, and open is Blaylock, who gets tackled by the ankles before reaching the end zone by Jayshawn Barham. He's down at the 3. Barham a bit slow to get up.
Looks like it's his knee. As we look at the replay here, it kind of lands on scrapes up his knee maybe on the grass. Not sure, needed some help to get up. His players tried to help him up, but he then waved him off a little bit because he just wanted the medical staff, and Sharon Moore is now coming to him as well. I mean, this would be a really tough loss for the Wolverines. We already saw it in the first half of the game. The Wolverines weren't able to make really anything happen on the defensive end, and they were missing Jayshawn Barham. And then he comes back in the game. Huge output with all of the solo and assisted tackles he had. And now he's on the field, injured.
4th and 3 upcoming. You'll imagine they'll opt to take the chip shot field goal from the left hash. And assuming that goes in, it will take a miracle for the Wolverines to come back in this one. They'll need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, an onside kick recovery, and then some more points on top of that. And with just 1:48 to go, and the Wolverines having only reached the end zone once this game, it seems very unlikely.
I mean, just an interception and a fumble recovery and a 75-yard touchdown. That's all they need.
Tate Sandell on the field to kick the chip shot field goal here. He missed his last one, but that was from much further than this. This is a 21-yard field goal. Just 1 yard further than an extra point would be. Kick is up from the left hash, and it is good.
Pretty much securing the win here for the Sooners.
24-13 with 1:44 to go.
The horse-drawn wagon running out on the field in celebration.
I think there's a lot of positives to take away from this game if you're a Michigan fan. I mean, your quarterback, Bryce Underwood, did he look overwhelmed by the moment? No, he looked calm, he looked composed. The offense just wasn't clicking today. The run game could not get itself going. And when that happens, it's tough to do anything offensively. The offensive line today got dominated by this Oklahoma defense. But this is a very good defense, and known to be a very good defense, led by a great defensive coach in Brent Venables. And who knows, this Oklahoma team could be a force in the SEC this season.
Yes, if I were a Sooner, I would be proud of how the Oklahoma Sooners held themselves this game, really stuck to what they knew and just executed all their plays perfectly and fast.
Andrew Marsh will take it out for the Wolverines, skips up to about the 26-yard line before getting taken down.
One thing that Bryce Underwood is good at is going fast, especially as the clock is running down. He did it during the New Mexico game. He's not afraid of making sure everybody's in their spot, clapping and going.
Underwood in the shotgun formation, 2 receivers out to his right. Takes the snap and drops back to throw. Oklahoma sends 5, throwing deep, looking for Channing Goodwin. Instead, incomplete and out of bounds. There is a penalty marker on the field. And offsides on the defense, so it was a free play for Underwood. That one will be accepted, and it'll be 1st down and 5 now. Fortunately, the game clock doesn't get reversed. So about 5 seconds went off the clock there. There's 1:33 to go. 1st and 5 at their own 31. Underwood takes the snap, looking to throw. Now steps up in the pocket. Now throws on the run, and that one drifts incomplete. Nobody home there.
I mean, in a situation like that, you made it through the pocket, and you have nobody near you and a clear shot down. I would have just taken it and run. I mean, he threw on a run to, I believe it was Samaj Morgan down the field, who was not even looking back. In those situations, you have to make a judgment call and just take it as far as you can to get a 1st down.
Underwood in the shotgun once again. Takes the snap, drops back to throw. Throw is out on to his right, caught by Zach Marshall, who moves forward for a 1st down for the Wolverines. He's down at about the 42-yard line, so 1st and 10 at their own 42. 1:18 to play here in the 4th quarter.
Zach Marshall, normally a specialist for the Wolverines, not really playing too much at tight end, but then you have Marlon Klein, who isn't feeling to his 100, and so they bring Zach Marshall out here, who doesn't really have a catch in his stats, getting his first catch that game.
Underwood takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, looks to throw on the run, and as he rolls out left, instead it's incomplete, up and over the hands of Donovan McCulley.
Donovan McCulley getting his hands on that ball, but you know, Donovan McCulley, Zeke Berry even, all came out and said that Bryce Underwood has an arm on him and he has a lot of power behind it, and his throws, they're strong and they're fast and they're really accurate and they hurt. So, I mean, it's hard to like slow that down, but you just got to get on it.
Underwood takes the snap, looking to throw, steps up in the pocket, looking for room to move, now rolls out right, steps back and drops it off. Tried to find Haynes, who dropped it on the check down. There's a minute to play, and it's 3rd and 10 at their own 43.
I mean, a little bit of panic there from Bryce Underwood. He steps out, he gets around, and he's trying to find somebody, and that's where you as an offense need to be ready for any of those catches. I mean, Justice Haynes stepping out a little bit from where Bryce threw the ball and then just completely missing the catch.
Jaden Jackson got in his face a little bit after that play. Underwood now takes the snap, looking to throw, finds McCulley, who catches it at about the 48-yard line. We'll see if they give him the first down. They do not. It's 4th and 1, and the clock is ticking, so they got to move quick. 45 seconds and moving. Underwood gets the offense set and will hand it off to Haynes, who gets stopped short of the line to gain. Sammy Omosigo, the Sooner who got there first, and that'll do it. Turnover on downs at the 50, and one kneel down away from this game being over.
The Sooners outperformed themselves this game, really doing what they needed to do to succeed and doing it perfectly. I mean, not very many incorrect or errant plays for the Sooners this game. They played football and they played it right. The Wolverines, they could have stepped up to the challenge, but had a couple of just routine things and just a little slower than the Sooners, honestly. But, you know, they tried their best, and that's all you can ask for.
And Mateer takes a knee, and the sideline's clear.
Couple of players flipping.
Oklahoma needed this win desperately, and they got it. You would have had the feeling that not only Coach Brent Venables, but this whole program would have been flipped upside down with the loss at home against Michigan. And they got the job done. They look to compete this year in the SEC, much different than what they did last year. And a star quarterback in John Mateer is what they have. They can be confident about that.
I mean, what I love about both of these teams is they're honestly pretty comparable. I wonder how this game would have happened if it was in the big house. Both teams have great quarterbacks, great D-lines, great secondaries, and it just happened to work out in one way. I mean, a game's a game, and it's nice to see that both teams are all giving each other hugs, dapping each other up in the center field, not going in for some physicality after the game, because it's so easy to get worked up after these games. But a lot of respect there for all of the team, and you know, the Boomer Sooners, they did what they needed to do, and they did it good, and they deserve the win tonight.
24-13 is your final from Norman, Oklahoma. Michigan will drop to 1-1 on the 2025 campaign. They will travel back home and have a game where they look to get back on track against Central Michigan before going back on the road the following week against Nebraska. Reminder that head coach Sharon Moore, this is his last game as Michigan's head coach until after the bye week, which will be in October against Wisconsin. on October 4th. He is suspended against Central Michigan and against Nebraska on the road. So Michigan will hope to bring head coach Jerome Moore back to the sidelines at 3-1 after 2 wins heading out of the bye week. But time will be able to tell. They dropped this one in Norman. Oh, it's always going to be a tough ask for a freshman quarterback to walk in here and get a win.
I mean, it only can go up from here, and I'm really, really, really interested to see how the Wolverines improve over the season, especially Bryce Underwood as a true freshman. I mean, in the last game against Ohio State, he's going to be a completely different player than he is now, and it's going to be exciting to watch someone grow like that. On the other end, John Mateer, I mean, MVP of the game, outstanding work, and doing my research on him, I was really excited to come here and watch him, and he just blew my standards out of the water. Oklahoma had gotten a great one with him, as well as Ben Arbuckle as the OC. I mean, both of them outstanding work tonight, and I can give credit to the rest of the Sooners for standing up and doing what they needed to do. So, I mean, the game worked out how it should have. They kept it close. Wolverines did what they can, and the Sooners took the win.
That'll be all from Norman, Oklahoma. Thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports Radio, the official student radio of Michigan Athletics. On the first half, you had Jaden Fode and James Meninga. Second half, Cindy Cyprian and Ethan Sommers on the call. We hope you enjoyed listening. Michigan can't come away with the victory. They lose this one 24-13. We'll leave you, as we always do, with a good night and a Go Blue.